I'm vengeance.
Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 103 of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg, the Bat Daddy 52, and I think I nailed that intro with the timing. I'm always like a second off whenever I hit the play on the video button and go live, but I think I nailed it that time. So went a little earlier than I thought I should. Maybe that's what I need to do. But if I had a superpower, it would be procrastination, because I can put off anything I need to and finish just under the wire, like I did tonight, watching all the shows, a lot of content. And we're here to talk about some of that tonight with my homeboy, Nathan, co-host, founder of the show. What's going on, buddy? Father of a new child. How's life?
Damn, she will be 3 weeks old on Monday.
3 weeks old.
Yeah,
she's going to start losing that new baby smell pretty soon.
Oh, no, man. Don't wish that on me. Don't wish that on me. That's the best part.
It is.
I know she's doing good. She's she already feel like she's growing fast. All the typical newborn stuff. Eat, sleep, and poop. That's about it right now.
Yeah. It's simple in the beginning, and then it just goes through different stages of difficulty, So yeah, like we were talking before, mine just went through high school orientation, so we're on two different levels of childhood with this. It's pretty insane, but it's all fun. So, well, dude, man, it's awesome to see. It feels like forever since I've recorded with you, but I totally understand what's going on.
No, it's only been episode 100.
Yeah, it just feels like forever.
Yeah, what
that's what I'm saying, man. You
It
mean that much to me, dude. It just feels,
103?
It feels like forever. But let's talk about some Titans, man.
Okay.
We got a lot of content to talk about this week. Sarah's going to hop on hopefully in a little bit and add to a little bit more. But I didn't get your take on episodes 1 through 3. So before we get into this week's episode, let me hear you discuss that. Are you impressed? Like, are you happy with the season so far? I guess is what I should say. Oh no!
I have some quibbles. There's just some stuff in that I go, what is happening? Like, I don't know who that guy was that they had on there. Supposed to be, quote, Bruce Wayne and Batman, but I mean, I don't come on, man. Like, I'm all good with like, let's take some liberties and let's change some things, but like, that's just he did. They just the way they wrote him. Just like the way he was, I don't know. He can. I'm okay. Like if kill the Joker, he goes out. But be Batman before that. Don't just be this old checked out guy. I don't know, man. Like he could have still snapped and done it and handed it over, but it just felt so clunky and just.
Okay, I get that. So, but I feel like with you saying that, you're almost kind of putting it out there that you think that you won't see him again. Like he's done.
Well, what's he going to come back? We don't need Bruce Wayne to come back in. If he comes in, we need Batman to come in. They're not putting anybody in the suit again, so I don't see any reason for him to come back unless it's to come at the very end and go, "Oh, Dick, you did a good job bringing him back." Like now that they put a pretty hard stamp on him. Like he beat the Joker to death and just skipped town, like with a crowbar as Bruce Wayne, not even Batman. Like they couldn't even put him in a fucking suit with like a cape. Like they couldn't. No cowl, like they couldn't even put him in like stripped down body armor. He came in as fucking Bruce Wayne, no blood on his fucking shirt. Like, come on, man.
You know what, man?
Do this shit a little better.
Damn it, Nathan! I didn't even think about that part of it until you just mentioned it. Like, because he had to have come. If he still has the bloody crowbar in his hand, he had to come like straight from the scene.
Right? Like what are we doing?
So yeah, you're right. Damn it!
He walked in as Bruce Wayne and did this shit. He didn't come in as bad. He walked. Like Bruce Wayne went in his snap and beat the shit out of the Joker. Yeah, okay. So you're telling, okay, so let's follow. All right, he went in as Batman. He beats the shit out of Joker. He goes, you know what? I'm skipping town. I'm going to come in as Bruce Wayne. I'm going to throw the crowbar down to Dick Grayson, who knows who I am, who knows my real identity. I'm really Batman, and Bruce Wayne's my fake identity, but I'm going to change it up just for dramatic purpose. Coming and go, I'm fucking Bruce Wayne. Here's his crowbar. I don't know. It just was clunky to me, and I get what they're doing. I love that Jason met the crowbar. The way some of the dialogue this season, and even continuing into this episode, I was like what? Oh man, like I don't know if they got some new writers. I don't know. At this point, I don't know. I'm just with the first three.
Yeah.
I think Hank in the bicycle shorts, that was kind of funny, like in the mustache, like I just want to say, like, damn, that dude got super jacked for this season. Like he was big in the other seasons, but he got super jacked. Like, is he trying to be Hulk Hogan? Like I thought Chris Hemsworth got that role to be that Hulk Hogan, biopic or whatever. But like that dude, like good for him. Like literally transformed his body. He was in great shape in the first two seasons, and this dude is like,
yeah, in the season that he's gonna die in.
Well, I get it. Maybe it was for another role, but
maybe, yeah.
Like what, like was and I don't really care. Like I don't like. I thought it was funny that he has him stripped down to go through there. Like to go through the pool, and like we can do that, but we gotta get there better. Like Jason, and come on. Hank is gonna be on his guard. He's not turning around. He's literally going to be stripped down to nothing, but he knows what he's going there for. I did not like the way that Jason got him. He just comes and sneaks up on him behind the pool and get out of here. Like they got to do this better. This is really clunking along here, and personally, I think if they keep going like this, we're not getting the fourth season. There is some good in here. I'm not saying it's all bad. Like there's some really. I think Beast Boy Gar has stepped it up this season. I think this is his, in these couple of episodes, is his best performance as Gar, not transforming, but as a character and interacting. Like this is his. He feels like he's comfortable in his shoes. I'm really liking Superboy so far. Like Superboy's good. Anna Starfire, like wow, those hips and legs, like I can't get over it. Like every time she comes in, she comes walking into this thing, just swinging in, and like. She feels like she's more comfortable in the role this season. They're like I said, there's good. Brendan, like that dude looked like he put some muscle on, and I like the Nightwing suit. I've always liked it. I feel like I kind of feel like last year's was maybe a little better, or maybe
that's what we were talking about last week. Yeah, it feels like this year it's a different suit that's like more armored up. Like they Batman and Robin it
or something.
Yeah, they Batman and Robin
that kind of hard mold rubber. Yeah, instead of being like kind of like I felt like maybe I'm wrong because it's been a while since I see it, but I felt like it was more platic. You know what I'm saying? Like plates kind of slid it in together and stuff. It looked more armored and more tactical and practical. And I don't know, it's been a while since I've seen season 2, but that's what I feel like I remember, because those Robin suits are clean. Like man, they knocked them out of the park with those Robin suits, and I'm sure when they do Tim Drake, whenever eventually he suits up to be, and this is another thing that's going to be
bring
weird.
That up, yes.
This is going to be so weird. So unless Dick actually suits up as Batman, because and they're already taking a different take on him. Of like they're already spinning on him, but is he gonna be Nightwing and Robin, or is he gonna be the pull to pull him onto the Titans? I'm very curious to this, and I get what they were doing, because in that first episode it was 10. He's broken hearted, like Batman snapped, or the Robin's dead and Batman hadn't been seen or whatever. So I get it. I do like that. I'm pretty sure it was fan backlash of people being like, what the fuck? Jason's not going to meet the crowbar? Like, that's bullshit. I think that's
originally they said he wasn't going to, right?
And I think that's why the opening scene is like that. And we continue on with the story, which we'll get into this week, because it was supposed to be like, we're going to have Scarecrow have something to do with it. But I think it was the fan, because look at it, like that's the opening scene that took a week of shooting. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was the fans being like, nope, we will revolt if he doesn't meet a crowbar. So I do like that they did that. I thought he was taken down a little too easily. He's Jason Todd. He's a Robin. He's the most hot-headed and rushes in that, and just rushes head first in. But he's still a Robin. Like he uses his head. Like you know what I'm saying? He loses his temper the quickest, obviously, but he's still a Robin. I don't know. I thought he was. I don't know. I like the suit. I like the Red Hood suit. They're doing good with that. Damn it! I had something else that I was going to say that happened in these first. What was it?
I'm sure. Well, while you think about it, let me just comment real quick because it's funny. While we agree on a lot of things, I have a total opposite opinion on you on some of these things, like Gar and Superboy especially. Can't stand him this season. Like, first of all, Gar, they do nothing.
No,
like what do they ever do? They do absolutely nothing. They walk around the house, they clean the house. Like that irritates the shit out of me.
He's going to be the heart this season without Raven being there so far. He's the heart. He's the one coming. He's supposed to be the glue. Like,
okay, especially after
this episode. Sure, but like he's trying to do it, and I get it. But I do. The reason why I said that about Superboy is I like what he just said, especially in the beginning of this episode.
This episode was a little different, yes,
which we'll talk about later. So like I just like having Superboy there. Like I think there's so much potential with him because the kid looks the part. He like I said, especially after this week's episode, which we'll talk about, like he feels, what I'm saying, like he's good. And I've got some criticisms of this episode. Oh, Dick Grayson just walking into the Gotham PD, and I heard you say that, like he just walking in, coming up to crime scenes, and like he's just doing all this shit as Dick Grayson. I'm like, what's happening? Like, what are we doing here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, there's absolutely no way people won't know that he's Nightwing. Like, there's no way. Yeah,
that's what I was going for. Okay, I don't know who this guy is. Like this hippie dude hanging out here. He's not Crane. He's not Dr. Crane Scarecrow. He's a fascinating character. I don't know who he is, but he sure as hell like the Scarecrow. Like I'm fine with what they've got. This being a brainiac and he smokes weed and like he can fight and shank people and avoid shanks. And wears a cool beard with long hair. I'm totally fine with that. But this isn't Scarecrow. Like, give him a different name.
You don't like his take? I kind of like it.
Oh, come on, man.
Well, the thing is, we haven't seen his potential yet. I feel like you're going to see more of this. If I could be wrong, and maybe this is, and if it ends up being just that, then it's a throwaway for the character. I feel
like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but and this is totally a different. Obviously, it's a different interpretation of him because like. Especially in today's episode, I felt like there's a good thing where he said something, but Dick says something about fear, and it should have applied to Scarecrow because that's one of his main things, and he just didn't say anything. I don't know.
So, I like Barbara.
Up? Hi, Sarah.
Sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No, I like the girl playing. I like the girl playing Barbara. Like she seems like I could totally see her playing a Batgirl. You know what I mean? Like I can picture it. Like she would have been a Batgirl. So I like her. I like that she's still in. She comes in doing her thing.
Are we going to see her suited up? Are we going to see a flashback with it?
I would.
Do you feel like it's a waste if they don't? I kind of do.
No, because Barbara is. There's a lot of people that think she's a better character after she lost the use of her legs as the Oracle and coming.
Right, but I still want to see it.
Well, sure, but I wouldn't say. I would never say it's a waste because it's Barbara Gordon. First of all, whether she's Oracle or Batgirl or just Barbara, like I'm there for it because she's smart. Her mind's always been her best weapon. That she figured out. Batman. You know what I mean? Like she's always it just makes sense to me. She's fine either way. I just like seeing her. I don't like that they just like ditch the relationship between Dick and Corey. Like what happened? You know what I mean? Like
they made that a flame.
They're banging in season 1, and then like they kind of say something, and then they don't, and then I don't know. Like,
but didn't I can't remember all of it.
I can't remember.
Season 1, didn't they have a relationship with Dove and
yeah, but that was in a flashback though. That was
right, but still, so Dove
he's getting around.
Everybody on the team, yeah.
I'm jelly
and Barbara,
yeah. I'm just saying because he got Minka Kelly and Anna Dove. I'm just saying,
dude.
I'm jelly.
Telling you, this guy knows how to play it. But so what's up, Sarah? We're just doing a recap right now. We didn't get to hear Nathan's thoughts on 1 through 3.
I don't want it to sound like I hate it because I do like I love like the Dove stuff's good, the Hawk and Dove. Like I really like Hank. his sacrifice. I thought it was
I knew that was coming though, and I saw that a mile away.
But I did like him. How it went down with like the ultimatum and the gun. Like I didn't like that she broke in and stole the gold. I thought that was dumber than cat shit. Yeah. But like you know what I mean. Like I did like the little switcheroo and they going through in the last second. You could see the just on Superboy. Like you knew he didn't. And you know what I mean. I like. There is some good in the season. I don't want to say it's all bad, but man, there's a lot of bad jumping out to me so far. It just feels so clunky how we're getting there. You know what I mean? Just
right.
Like we get on a little stretch and it's like we could have done that better.
Okay. I mean, it's a fair argument. Like I said, I'm really impressed with the way this season's going so far. I have had complaints. There are definitely some things there. I just don't feel like it's enough to
it's
really make it bad for me, at least. But once again, you're not saying it's bad.
I'm not
you're not saying it's
bad.
bad. So yeah,
and maybe it's just because there's just a lot of stuff sticking out to me where I go, what is happening? Like I'm still in for it because it's the Titans. I like the cast. I'm still there for it, but it's just maybe I'm expecting too much. I don't know. I just feel like maybe there's a new writer, a new showrunner, something happened.
Okay. Well, let's talk about this week's episode. Now we got some overall thoughts. Sarah, I'll start with you. I know you and I after last week were, on a real high with Titans. I really enjoyed it. I'm still enjoying it. Are you still right there with me?
I'm bringing it down.
I think so too. I mean, it's now they're starting to arc off into different stories. I'm just curious how many storylines they're going to try to cover.
Yeah. I hope not too many.
Well, because you've got the main one, and now because you've got Red Hood, so now you're getting into Starfires. So that makes you wonder. Okay, and there's a possible third one that I'm hoping is going to come up at some point as well.
Well, it's got to. Those characters got to come back.
So I mean, that's three main ones right there, and it's almost like you could
talk about. Just say it. We're going full spoil. We'll be dancing around it for guys.
You're talking about Raven and
and Donna. I mean, because at some point, that's going to come into play. So that's the third storyline. So these are pretty.
I'm ready for them to come back.
And you still got Guard and Superboy too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
don't forget about Crypto. All right. Don't forget about
now. Did Guard ever figure out what animal he wanted to be, other than just the green tiger?
We'll find out the last episode of the season.
Man, I thought that was really good. Like when they said that, I was like, "Damn, did they just give a fan criticism and throw it at him?" Like I thought that whole back and forth. I was like, "All right, that was pretty good. Like that was actually pretty self-aware and pretty good."
But I mean, if you think about it, these are potentially these three storylines could be seasons unto themselves. So I'm just really curious to see how they're going to intertwine everything and it not be. You lose some of the story, or either it gets too clunky or just too, just discombobulated. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, it also brings up the question of if you have a character like Red Hood, why, if you're Nightwing, wouldn't you bring somebody like Starfire with you in that kind of situation? And it gives you a reason to not have. I get that, but realistically, it gives you a reason, to have that away from the story.
This is family business. Dick would do it alone to bring Jason in. If there wasn't Bruce around, There's nothing like Dick. He always wants to get away from it. He doesn't want to be Batman. But whenever he's needed and when it's a family matter, he'll take it into his own hands and he comes in. You know what I mean? That's the Dick Grayson I know.
So I kind of called it last week, and I don't know if it's going to stick, but I said that Dove was going to be gone, and damn sure when they started this episode, she's leaving. Do we see her again?
God,
I hope so.
I know. I thought about Nathan all through that. I was like, "Oh no!"
I hope so.
Yeah. I don't know though, man. Like, what is this? It? I mean, it very well could be. Like, that's a good way to get both of them off the show.
Well, that's what I mean because
unless there's another flashback.
Dove and Hawk. So I mean, can she stand on her? And because that's how we were kind of introduced to him. It was like a set.
You guys are forgetting.
I mean, I think she can handle her own, but it's just you always had that. I don't know that just those two together kind of doing their thing. So I don't know.
What was his name? The original Dove, Don, not Dawn, Don. Remember the flashback to Hank's original partner, the African American guy, and then he dies, and I guess so she could find a new Hawk. I mean, I wouldn't like it, but eventually she could find a new Hawk.
Yeah. I don't know,
but I think,
or maybe she'll play into the storyline. Maybe she'll end up playing more so into the storyline with Rachel and Donna.
Well, Jason. If Jason wants to hurt him, he'll go and get her. Because quote, she's in Paris. She's off the board. We're not thinking about her. Yeah. She'll come back in the end if he lasts all the way through. Like that'll be his trump card where she'll be, hanging by a rope over a vat of acid or, whatever Red Hood does to people. He's not cutting heads off and putting them in a duffel bag, which I did love that. Love that. I mean, that was right out of the comic and right out of the movie when he threw the duffel bag of heads on the table. And sorry, it's another positive I want to bring up about
so like I said, I mentioned that last week how they paid homage to the storyline like that, where it was really, really well done.
But I don't know. It just seems like to me, I mean, even Jason, throughout when he was introduced, he just always seems like he acted like a petulant child anyways. Just kind of like a little brat.
That's his character, though, I think, isn't it?
I know, but that's I'm just like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's what it kind of disconnects me from like the whole Red Hood character, because I still know that's him, and he's still acting like a little.
He's
dick.
far more. He's been far better received as Red Hood than he ever was.
Well, that's what I'm saying, but I don't know. Maybe it's just that underlying current. I don't know. It's
Matter of fact, this show was the only time I really liked a Jason Todd Robin. Like, when he was Robin and those other shows, I was like, you know what, I can handle Dick being Nightwing, and we'll just keep him as Robin. Like, we'll redeem him as a Robin.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like majority of times I liked them, but then it was like sometimes I'm like, dude, come on, get over yourself. I mean, really?
Absolutely. He's kind of whiny. He's definitely I like Dick's Gaffney or his fucking just whatever he calls his little sticks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love that they're electrified. It reminds me of the Injustice game where you play the game
and he's the best character to fight with. I'm telling you, he's the best character in that game to fight with.
Oh yeah, because you can put them together as a bow staff and break them apart and go. Yeah, definitely.
Hands down. I do notice though that it and I'd like this, that every single time they fight, Dick is a much better fighter than Jason Todd. A much better fighter than Jason Todd.
I think he's like, I think Red Hood, I think he's fighting more like, I mean, he has been trained, but I think he has more of that emotion, like that hatred emotion, where Dick's just kind of like, I mean, he's got that underlying emotion that, it does surface every now and again, but he's just so cold when he goes in. It's just
until they write a full on Damian adult to see what he turns into other than Robin. Dick Grayson is the logical choice to pick up the mantle of Batman. He is his father. He is his father's son. Like, Dick's still got more heart, and he's still different enough, but he is Batman Jr. for lack of a better. He's actually a better Batman than Batman if you want to get real, because he's got more heart. He's got more empathy. He takes care. You know what I mean?
He actually has more of a conscience.
Exactly. Now Batman will do things that Dick won't. Dick has a limit. Batman doesn't. Yeah. But you know what I mean? Technically, I would almost say he's a better Batman to a certain extent, until you need somebody that can go all the way, and then you get Bruce. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think he's the logical one to pick the mantle up until we get more stories of Damian as an adult to see if he's still a little psychopath or if he grows into the same person who will go all the way to the limit and kick right past it and without being a psycho. You know what I mean? Like, because he's still in the air. Like, we could flip a coin. There could be a story where he becomes the head of the demon and just slaughters Batman and goes all of it. And literally the League of Assassins takes over the world. And you know what I mean? Like, you could see that story being written and wouldn't even bat an eye and be like, yeah, that sounds like Damian. Or you can see him growing up to be the next Batman and just being a little more brutal and like following in his father's footsteps and being like Batman. You'd be like, yeah, I can see that too. You know what I mean? Wouldn't even bat an eye at that story. So like until we get more there, like Dick is bat. Like I do like that. Exactly. And I feel like this interpretation is that too. I feel like he's more Batman than whatever we've had on here so far.
Yeah, this show makes me want to read more Nightwing comics.
Absolutely.
It really does. It makes me want to read more Nightwing comics. So I want to go tomorrow and buy more Nightwing comics. So Ross in the chat room, he says it seems like he's twisted on whatever drugs, and I missed this. It's probably back when we're talking about Jason Todd. We still haven't figured out what kind of drugs.
Damn it, you're right. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yep. And we also haven't figured out how he was resurrected.
I don't think he was. I think the drugs had something to do with it.
Okay.
But whatever he concocted, it gave him the illusion of dying. The Scarecrow made it fear top. Something. They're gonna worm their way around this. It's gonna be some kind of wonky thing. It'll almost be like what was it an arrow Mirakuru that could jack you up some crazy shit, like, and so like it's gonna be this version of Mirakuru.
So from what I'm getting, first of all, before we get away from the Titan Mirakuru is what we'll call it. Sounds weird.
It does.
Do you think this has anything to do with how Donna's gonna come back?
No.
Okay, totally different.
I think Raven's just gonna use her ties to basically her dad, health and her and the light. She's gonna use her magic to bring her back, plus Amazonian magic.
Are you disappointed we haven't seen anything about Raven? Not even like a side story. We flash to them real quick and see what's going on. Okay,
it's gonna be dramatic.
Okay. Dang it, I forgot the next part I was gonna say about that. But yeah. And two, so we found out in this episode, this is all being like Scarecrow's controlling Jason? Is that what Dick kind of gets into? Like you're the master, you're the head, you corrupted him type thing. From what I understand, Jason Todd comes to him because, by the way, they're throwing Bruce Wayne's name around like Batman, like it's nothing in this show. Like it is absolutely nothing. Like apparently everybody, now that Bruce Wayne is gone, knows he was Batman.
He knows Batman.
And you got like the cat's out of the bag. Like everybody knew beforehand, but now that he's gone, it's cool to talk about type thing. Like what the hell? First of all, so from what I'm understanding, Jason went to him, to Scarecrow, and Scarecrow is the one who's convinced him in this mindset. Maybe, am I understanding that right?
I guess that's kind of what I'm gathering. That's what they're making it sound like. That
okay. So we're looking at Scarecrow as the big bad in this one, perhaps behind Red Hood.
He just kind of broke all of Jason's restraints, like that Batman put in place. Is kind of what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? Like it was always in him. You seen how the kid was. It was always in him, and I just gave him the pusher, or like whatever is what I'm. That's what I'm thinking. And on top of the drugs, because Ross Strider forgot about that. On top of the Titan Kuru, it's gonna fucking like I think that's gonna be what it is.
Sorry, unplugged the headphones. All right. Well, let me ask, what do y'all think about Starfire story in this so far?
Wait. I just went before we move on about it. Superboy this episode, like saying some Superboy shit, like man, like that's what I said, like that's why I put this, since I hadn't had to talk about like Superboy, like after this episode especially, I was like, man, he's got the look, he's got the chops, he's got the sounds. If somebody can keep writing dialogue like that, you know what I mean? Like I'm there for it. Like that felt good. Yeah. That felt like Superboy.
Superboy and Gar have been my two most disappointing characters so far this season. Although I can say with the last 5 minutes of last episode and the first 5 minutes of this episode, I did enjoy the Superboy that I saw. It made me believe. I liked the speech he gave, and I liked him having the dilemma or the complex of I'm not Superman, because that's what Superboy should have. That's his complex, you know. And I do enjoy that, and I hope that we dive into that. I hope that they make Superboy a bigger character in the show. I hope he's not just in the background cleaning the house like Gar is and turning into a tiger once every 5 episodes because it's all they can afford.
And poor Gar, he's getting his ass beat.
Right.
It's just like the whipping boy, isn't he?
Just slapping the shit out of him.
Like, what?
My thing is, this is HBO now, man. They got the big money. Let's see some characters, Gar. Seriously. Like, I want to see some animals.
Well, come on. You know he's going to turn into a wolf, right? Like, they already had the animatics from Dick doing the flashback of, quote, killing the wolf. Like, when it ran around that corner, I was like, oh, we're going to see a green wolf later on this season. Because
you think so?
Well, they already made an animatic with a shadowed wolf. They're going to take that thing and
I want to see a gorilla.
Put green.
I want to see a gorilla.
I want to see a T-Rex.
I want to see a T-Rex. Like, well, T-Rex, but I definitely want to see a gorilla. Like
I'm still partial to the tiger, but that's just me.
Well, the tiger was fun. It's cool to see, but I've seen that already this season and plenty of times before. So
I'm ready snake to too. Remember, we saw a little snake.
We saw the snake once. Yes.
I want to see a canary. I want to see goldfish. Like, just give me all kinds.
Give me a narwhal, right?
Yeah. Like a swordfish out of nowhere. Get a swordfish for fucking Superboy to use fighting somebody. Yes, that's what we need right there.
There you go. I like it. All right, but yeah, Superboy. Like I said, great. I'm with you, Nathan. The guy looks the part. In the moments they really shine on Superboy, I really love the character. I just hate how in the background they have this guy. Absolutely. You know, they treat him like a toddler. And he honestly is probably the strongest and best weapon they have on that team to use.
If it were me, and I know it's a little different, and they might be saving this for Tim Drake coming in for their interpretation of Tim, you know, the guy at the beginning, the cry, which they should have been building a relationship with Superboy and Dick this season. But I can see if they're waiting for for their version of Tim Drake, because in the comics they're like really good friends. So if that Tim gets on the team as Robin soon, you could start forging that friendship, and that could be really interesting because you could get the back and forth of both of them.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, they could be, if they get another season, or if he comes on sooner than later, and they give him just 10 minutes. Like, I think there could be some real potential there, because there's a lot of material from the comics to work with of them two being just like really good, really good friends.
That's a good point. You know, once again, we don't know how long the show is going to go on, so I'm hoping it doesn't go as a lot of CW shows do and kind of start to spiral downhill as they keep going. But I'm excited where it's going so far. I wanted to talk about Corey's story real quick. I'm liking it. I love her as the character. She does a great job in that role. Looks great for the role. Absolutely, yeah. The Blackfire storyline they had in this one. I mean, I know that going into this, we understood that she was going to be a bigger character in this season. And the last time we saw her last season, she was very powerful, wasn't she? It just, I don't know. Unless I see how she got from that to this in this episode where she's depowered, she's trapped for what looks like eternity, because they said that place is going to survive for hundreds of years. She'll live hundreds of years, and this place will hold her inevitably. I just want to see how she got from this point to this point, and maybe they still will, but it bothers me that it went there to there,
I don't think they made her, and maybe that was the point, but she didn't look very tough or intimidating, and I thought that when she kind of tried, like it didn't really, I wasn't a fan of, maybe it was the way she portrayed what, I don't know what it was, but something just didn't work for me with Blackfire.
She was like playing the victim. I mean, it was like, I did
everything. Are you talking about this episode or before?
This episode.
Like now.
This episode, yes. Like she just didn't feel like she didn't feel
like the one we were introduced to last season.
Yeah, exactly. Like this didn't feel like a strong like lookout, you know what I'm saying? She just felt like kind of like a whiny little bitch, and she didn't look very intimidating. And I get it, she was in a power dampened cell, so maybe that was the point. So when she comes out in her grand opening and when she rips the jumpsuit off, or the overalls or whatever, the janitor suit off, and she comes out, maybe it'll be like a real pow. But she just I think
there'll be a little more. I think there'll be a little more development. Hopefully, let's just
absolutely. And I think so too, because Gar took her gauntlet or whatever for a reason, and that's going to restore her powers to full capacity. Like we know this. We're not dumb. There was a reason they focused on him picking that up, then putting in that little bag and hold. That's she's going to put that on, get her full power, and it's going to be hopefully the one we were introduced to last. Powerful and like a presence and a real danger, because Starfire in the comics is one of the strongest. Like she can go. You know what I mean? She can go with a lot of the strongest characters, and Blackfire, being her sister, is in the same boat. So if you get Starfire to turn on the league, she's gonna take some motherfuckers down. The Titans, the league, whatever. Well, if you get her sister in there, she can take some people down too. You know what I mean?
So good or evil? Blackfire, or is that what they're building up to be? I'm assuming a evil character, correct? She's going to be a villain, yes?
She's always been villainous in the very limited capacity I've seen her. And mainly my knowledge comes from the Teen Titans, the 5 seasons that they, what they did in the 2000s, like from 05 or whatever it was. That version. Not, what Teen Titans Go is? The version before that with those characters.
I know what you're talking about, yeah. I accidentally bought that DVD when I was trying to buy Teen Titans Go for my kids.
What? What do you mean accidentally? That was the best accident.
Don't get me wrong. Yeah, it was a great accident. Yeah, I'm sure my wife thought I did it on purpose, but
Teen Titans is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm interested to see where they go with the story. And like you said, I hope they don't have too much stuff going on and that all this stuff can tie together at some point in time. I think it will. Because the first 3 episodes seemed very everybody's together, everybody's on a team, and then in this episode it seems like it's all everybody's going their own ways to do their own type of thing. I don't know. I just want to keep seeing badass fight scenes between Dick and Todd.
That's Jason, what I was gonna say.
They're pretty awesome.
I really like that one in the woods.
So
the only thing that I didn't like about that one in the woods is like, why is Jason's guns glowing red? Like, what are we doing? Like, he doesn't have to have little red fucking lights in his gun. And Dick's got like, we get it, guys. We know what he's doing. He's fighting with guns. Like, we've seen it in the comics. We've seen it on the Injustice games. We get it. We don't need to have light indicators to show that he's swinging guns around. We get it.
Well, do you think if it wasn't in the dark, they would? I mean, I'm sure you're right. I get what you're saying, but
every gun he's had, like even his little rifle version, it's got a little red light right here. They want you to know this is Red Hood shit. He has branded it. He's got red lights and everything. It's like
he's customized it.
The Fast
it's like
and
Batman
Furious movies
stuff
came out. With Fast and Furious movies, everybody put the little lights underneath their cars on the ground. It's like Red Hood's like, I'm fucking putting little fucking lights on everything.
Everything's gonna be red.
Everything.
Yeah. But the fights between those two are great.
They've been good.
Loving them so far.
Very
yeah,
good.
And like I said,
positive.
I do love the fact that every time Dick wins.
Dick being in that cabin talking to that guy who's, quote, the Scarecrow. I don't know. I'm just giving a shit. Like I said, he's not the Scarecrow. I don't know who he is. He's a cool character, but he's not the Scarecrow.
So,
but
okay,
anyway,
when you say that, you mean he's not the Scarecrow? Like that's when you look at that, you don't see the Scarecrow, or you think that there's actually somebody else in the show that's Scarecrow pulling strings?
No. I don't.
It doesn't work for you.
It doesn't work as the Scarecrow.
Okay.
If you told me that like this was, Titanium Fist Man, and he's a really smart guy with a really strong titanium fist, I'd be like, okay, cool. I can go with that because I don't know who the fuck that is. Give me this turret, but this isn't. To me, this isn't the Scarecrow. But anyway, okay. I did like when Dick was talking to him, like, okay, the wolf, we're gonna cut its head off and bring it on there, like, okay, visual effect, whatever. But like him being like the wolf should have been scared me, like that felt like that's fucking Batman. Like, is that little Batman up there? You know what I mean?
It did feel like Batman.
He felt like fucking Batman in there. He's like, I know what's gonna happen. He got him before he even knew it. I loved it. He's like, I knew what was going on. You didn't get killed. You were trying. Red Hood wants you because you're the mastermind. Like, yes, that is the character. And I really like that whole scene where he's like baiting him in and luring him in and just being like, no, fear. Like he should have feared me. Like fear is my ally. When he was trying to turn it on him, that was really good.
Yeah, they did a really good job with that. And we ended almost on that kind of scene, right? Where he gets shot at the end, right? Is that what happened? He ended up getting shot, not Red Hood.
That's what it looked like to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks like you got like hitting the arm.
Like it grazed him or flesh.
Yeah,
that's what it looked like.
So they were just kind of like shooting because they saw two bodies. Yeah. I don't think they were quite sure.
He'll be swinging that arm next episode. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It.
Don't worry about that.
What is Starfire thinking? Just like, I'm taking my sister out of here. Like, I don't know. I'm curious.
Well, she wasn't going to leave her. She wasn't going to leave her. I mean,
I know.
So it's going to be interesting to see because now Blackfire's going to know all the Titan secrets because I'm sure they're going to bring her back to Wayne Manor, which I guess is the new Titans headquarters.
Yes.
Which has a badass pizza oven in it.
Yeah, it does.
I know, right?
Yeah, it does.
So, and I was like, holy shit, Bruce Wayne's got everything.
He got the hookup.
I don't know, but that kitchen was kind of small compared for a manor. It seems like it would be a little bit larger, but
that's the Helps kitchen.
I'm sure it's one of many kitchens.
That was Alfred's kitchen, and they just happened to go in there. And he's like, if he had people over, he'd be like, voila, just lay his kitchen dick. He just lays kitchen dick right down and show it'd be like a table.
Yeah, these are the granite countertops. These are the.
Well, you heard Gar when he was talking to him. He's like, "You've been cleaning for hours," and I'm like, "He's doing dishes. How much has he been cleaning?" But maybe he has multiple kitchens to clean. What the fuck does Gar do if Dick's cleaning all the time?
Obviously, he's not changing into a cheetah and getting around there and getting that shit done.
We better see something cool. That's all I got to say.
It's gonna be totally something cool. Like, I wanted to see him. Like Starfire would still mess him up, but like I wanted to see him like. When she starts smacking him around, I wanted to see him just go all tiger, but like, bitch, I will bite your throat. And she'd still smack him around and beat him, but I wanted to see him do it to like try to actually show a little backbone. And I know it's his friend, but like he could like try to pin her or something. I don't know. I just thought we can. What are we saving that for? Did we not have as much Gar budget? We don't have as much Tiger budget this season.
Well, what about the thing about it too is because when he put her in that chamber, because it's like, oh, it's indestructible. Mm-hmm. And then next thing you know, she's like waking up in a car. She's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you destroyed that and escaped. I'm like, okay.
There's some clunky writing here. There's some, and there are things I enjoy. I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on it. I still like it. I'm enjoying it, but
you say that with such a big smile on your face. It's
we're
so
making
funny.
Some leaps. I know.
Yeah.
I know.
You're waiting for the finale to see if the finale is palatable, like.
Well, I mean, what do you expect? I mean,
right, and that's what we've all enjoyed this show for the most part, except for the finale. So
yeah, it's like just come on.
And this one's building up to a big one. Yeah, this one's building up to a big one. Just like last season, we had the Deathstroke one, which is a big episode. Now we've got the Red Hood. Like we're gonna see how they make it happen, I guess. So what episode do we see Donna Troy or Raven?
I'm saying because this is
6?
what 4.
This is 4.
6. Yeah,
okay,
that's what I'm thinking.
Weeks.
I don't know why. That's just what jumps out of my head. I think it's episode 6.
Sounds good. Yeah, I mean they've got to put some attention on that, unless they just don't talk about it at all this season. That's the whole thing for what they are planning next season.
I don't think they could.
I don't think they could.
We're getting some Wonder Girl coming in there and just thrashing some shit. She's redeeming herself. She's gonna grab it.
Just stay away from water and electricity.
No, she's gonna go over to the telephone pole, right, and look right in the camera's fucking face. She's like, "See, motherfuckers are better than ever." She's gonna look directly in the camera when she's doing it, just be like, and walk away.
I got that upgrade. Use the XP. Got that upgrade. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, well, all right. Well, y'all got anything else you want to say about Titans? Like I said, how many episodes? Season 3. I don't know either. I just keep watching it till I find out it's ending. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna see. All right, let's move on to the next stuff then. I guess the next thing would be Stargirl. Sarah, last week you hadn't watched episode 1, but you did this week and you're caught up now, right?
I am.
All right, so
that's what I was doing. That's why I was so late getting on.
I've seen an episode and a half.
Yeah,
an episode and a half, but it's okay. I'm fine. You guys know me. I'm good.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's talk about it a little bit. Well, just real quick, Nathan, you weren't here last week. Do you like? I know we ended season 1. You and I are really enjoying it. It was my favorite CW show going on right now, and even though I really enjoyed Superman and Lois, I just haven't continued watching it. Whereas I had with Stargirl. I'm going to go back to it too because it was really good. It was really good.
I watched the first episode and it was good, and I've heard good things about it. I heard it's towards the very end because it's 15 episodes. It spins its wheels a little bit in the back half, but for the most part, I heard it's pretty tight. There's good visuals. He's a good interpretation, and like I said, I did like that first episode. So,
well, that first episode had very Man of Steel vibes, which is my Superman,
but also had like Superman Return vibes, and I think he encompassed a good amount of the writing team, the visual, whatever it was. I don't know. On a rewatch, I'll be able to tell a little better. But from what I remember, I thought they did a good enough job of taking inspiration from numerous things, but doing their own thing.
Okay. Well, so what did you think about Stargirl? Is it continued to be good for you? And like I said, we were impressed with the last season.
I need to know more of what we're doing because it just kind of felt like, hey, we're introduced back to the kid, which is fine. We do need to get reacquainted. It's been a while, but it wasn't super memorable episode 1 for me. At the end there, agreeing Jade coming in and being a little fight and stuff that was pretty cool. Like I'm down for shit like that. Like that was really cool. But them going around, and I get they're doing. Yolanda's having, the regrets, and she's doing the stuff. I don't know. Episode 1 just didn't seem too memorable. You got Courtney's eager to be a superhero, which I get. If I would have been 16 and had a lantern ring or even that staff, I'd be, oh God, you wouldn't be able to get me off of it. I mean, I'd be flying everywhere. I'd be looking for one motherfucker throwing a piece of bubble gum on the ground and just wrapping him up. You're going to jail. One jaywalker. Jaywalker. I got a ticket immediately issued as they stopped there. So I get it. But it just, it was nice getting reacquainted with the characters. Beth is still my least favorite character, although I do feel sorry for her now. But she's still my least. I actually felt something for her, and you know what I mean. I actually felt something for her when she's doing the whole dinner thing,
the parents
for the first
thing,
time.
yeah.
For the first time, other than disdain and annoyance for her, I actually felt like, oh, Beth, you know what I mean? So she's, I don't know. I'm enjoying it. I just want to kind of see where they're going. I want more of the shade. You know what I'm saying? I want more of the big bad and going, give me some more meat. Let me get into it. I feel like we're reacquainted. We kind of got where we're going now. Now let's kind of get into it. So.
Yeah, I agree. The first one was definitely like an introduction back into the universe, and I think for a lot of people who didn't have the DC app last year before the CW show, probably never even knew about it. Because I know people who didn't even know about Titans until they saw the season 3 stuff on HBO Max.
But I think it played on the CW last
year.
Did it?
Too. Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it did.
Well, and that's the thing about it. I just feel like it's been so long since we've seen it because of COVID and all this kind of stuff. It just seems like it. I swear to God, it just feels like it's been like a year.
Mm-hmm.
I know. I mean,
and not to mention that even with COVID, we have so much fucking content.
Absolutely. So I don't think I'm not saying it's necessarily a bad thing to get the reacquainted episode in the first one, but that's just kind of what it felt like to me. It's like, okay, we'll get reacquainted, we'll get you up to speed of kind of what happened, and now here's your couple little crumbs for for what's going to come up. And then, like I said, I saw the first 24 minutes of the second episode. So like I'm kind of getting in there, and I'm going to go back and finish it when I'm done. But CW app has a lot of ads and running around.
I know that's how we grew up with all the commercials. But I'm like, look, this day and age, no, at least I can't.
Well,
can't
to be fair, CW app is free.
Absolutely.
So it's just like it's just like people who complain about things about Facebook. Well, everybody could pay $3 for Facebook, and they wouldn't be able to sell all your stuff because we pay for it. But everybody,
I get that, but I'm still complaining about it because that's what I grew up with.
I get it.
Stop it with your logic and your stuff.
Stop it. Yeah. So let me ask you then, Nathan. You watched the majority of the second episode. Did it start to get into that meat and potatoes? Did it start to answer that? Okay.
Yes, and that's what I said when I finish. I think I don't know. You guys can tell me; it'll be fine. But I think by the end of this episode, there's probably you kind of know where you're going, and like you kind of I don't know, especially with the shade kind of coming. Like we know that they're doing, and what's her name? God damn it! With the Eclipso Stone, like she's recruiting things. Like I think.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cindy.
Yes, Cindy. Yes. I think there's places to go. So I think that by the time I finish, I'll probably be. And
I was kind of glad to see her back. I don't know why. I mean, she was like an uber bitch, but I mean, still, I mean, it's like.
Well, you saw her a little bit last episode, but now you can see she's definitely going to be a bigger part of this. I mean, you knew with the ending of the last episode 1, she was going to be a huge part of this season. But now you're starting to see that a little more. It definitely does allude to some of the stuff. We'll get to when we get to the end of this episode. But what do you think? What's up?
I was gonna say I did, for whatever reason, it kind of made me chuckle, the Zeke character whenever Pat's going, he's like, "Oh, hey, that's my robot." Yep, it's your robot. You know,
are you talking about Zeke?
Yeah, Zeke. That's what it is. Yeah.
And now apparently he's just working on the robot.
He's just like, let's just put a
flamethrower out of a potato
let's just do that.
Like what? And then he's like, I can put flamethrower on that for you. And then he goes to that next episode and shows Pat's going, "This is fucking cool." I was like, all right.
But that's so funny. Zeke's like, well,
that made me chuckle.
Like, you want to build a robot? That's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know what I was going to think. And I'm like, why are they bringing it in? But I get it. He's going to be the comedic talent. Like, okay, if they're going to give more of that, like, don't overstay your welcome. But that was pretty good. I did enjoy that.
Exactly.
This show does a really good job of bringing in golden age characters and just kind of transitioning to a new age, to a silver age, to the modern age. Yeah, and they do a really, really good job with that. I like some of the names dropped in this one. What is Isaac Bowen? And, it's a character I know we met last one, but the fiddler is the guy who's in summer school with him.
On the roof.
Yeah, well, he's the one who bumped into Courtney in the first episode in the cafeteria. So we're going to see more of that, I'm sure. I do like that, whenever you first see the story with Jade or with Jenny, and she's, I guess, is she leaving an orphanage there? Has she aged out?
Yeah, it's a group home. It's a group home.
So she's kind of aged out of that.
I need to know how long she's been there. Has this lady been raising her for like 5 years or 6 years, and then she's just like, all right, Jenny.
I know. She must have told her hit the bricks.
Like, what
right. That's what I was wondering.
You're not releasing her at 7 or 8 at night or whatever the fuck time it was. She's going
just onto the front porch.
Yeah, you're gonna.
It's like basically like
release. Yeah,
hit the bricks. We're trying to bring in some other folks. I'm like, oh my god.
I rolled my eyes at that, and I was like, okay, all right, I'll go with it.
But by the way, we've had this little box here for how long, but we'll finally give it to you upon your release.
Yeah.
I mean, that was kind of stupid.
Yeah. Well, they had to put something in there to give some kind of background story for Jade, and they definitely could have done a better job with that, I feel. But it was really weird. But I did like that she flipped the car over, and you see Todd, and she makes it a point that she's trying to find her brother, which is Obsidian, which has powers of Shade, which Shade is a character that they're going to fight in this one. So it's going to be interesting to see how that stuff comes into play. Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see him or not, but it is, very plausible. I guess Obsidian's a guy who can, absorb his own shade, and he gets superpowers with that. So, and Shade is a character who uses shade so it's going to be interesting to see if they put those things together. I'm sure they probably will. Because especially how they mentioned this one, how her biggest thing, all she wants and from the ring to do is find her brother. And I was like, wow, it's pretty intense. I would want to find my brother too, but if I got a power ring, the first thing I would want to do, I don't know. I'd want to do a lot of shit first. Like I'd want to create a lot of shit. And how about our first construct being a car? Okay, I get that. All I've got to say is we did get to see her in Green Lantern form this one, and if that's the way they do it, with her just in her regular clothes and a green glow around her, I'm gonna be pissed. I'm gonna be pissed because that is worse than a green animated suit, and we got a lot of shit for a green animated suit. So, just saying, in my opinion, but I didn't like the way they did that. Hopefully, we're gonna see her in actual suit. They've done a great job with suits so far, so we'll see if that works out.
I still don't like Lady Panther's suit. Oh wait, okay, our version of Wildcat's fucking.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Every time she gets, and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to do it better. I'm not saying I have a better idea. I'm not. This isn't my profession, but come on, throw fucking $10 more at them to do something better, because I think just $10 more we could fucking get something better than that.
I mean, I know how to do it better. Almost every other woman who's been portrayed in a cat suit, live action so far. That's how you do it better, except for maybe Halle Berry's. I know it's a different character.
We don't know who that was, but
yeah, that's a different character. But yeah, I'll give you that. I really like Our Man suit.
Man, that one was pretty damn close.
It's pretty damn good.
Accurate. Like they did a damn good job. Okay, so like I said, I haven't got to see the end of the second episode, but he's not feeding Grundy, right? Did they reveal that it's not Grundy, or is he still just throwing food down there?
They didn't reveal it's not Grundy. They kind of allude to it more.
They're alluding to it, though.
He takes pizza down there, and as he's coming out of the woods.
And he hears something and is looking at the car. Okay, I saw that.
And something's looking at him, but
they didn't look like when he went down there the first time in the first episode, didn't he see like a footprint down there by the river?
Grundy
there was some kind of indention.
Well,
unless somebody's going to take his mind, or like something lurking like that, like that's not Grundy just peeking out there being like, oh, I'm gonna spy on this dude, like
there goes Nathan. He cut out.
Talking shit about Grundy. That's what happens.
Exactly. Well, the funny thing is Rick's brought at least, and this is just 2 times they showed him, he's brought at least $67 worth of chicken and $80.
Dude, those some big buckets too, man.
Yeah, like this kid's got some money to spend to give food to Grundy. So there we go.
But it's like, but the end of last. Nathan, get it together.
I know. I'm just saying. I don't think that's Grundy lurking. I think that's a bait and switch. I think it's going to be whatever we saw lurking is going to take him, and maybe like Grundy comes in at the end and be like, "This Our Man, my friend," and smash him up or something. But I don't think the character that he is feeding or whatever is. I think it's the bait and switch. I think it's going to be some kind of other villainous. Whatever that's lurking.
Okay. So, just out of curiosity, just a hunch. Like, is there anything? Because I just feel like it's just
I don't know. I don't, because it's just too. And I get like you killed my parents, but it wasn't your fault, or just especially the way that camera, the way they had it, like looking through the woods, like he was spying on her. So like, why Grundy wants friends? He doesn't have friends. Like, he's been locked up. I don't know. I just the way and I know they're doing different interpretations. I just feel like something's lurking on him. It's something that's eating his food and getting bigger, and it's gonna get him. And maybe Grundy comes in at the end. He's like, "Wow, like that's my friend."
The king shark him.
Yeah. Nom. I saw on Reddit. Speaking of which, I saw on Reddit the other day. It said worst mustache, and it had King Shark doing this, and it had Justice League Superman in that opening scene. Dude, I fucking lost it. Where Superman's face is all just messed up. Oh man, come on, that's pretty good. Yeah.
Well, since we're talking about that for just a second, I just want to. My son and both my daughter, they love Polka Dot Man. Mm-hmm. I found the character. I found the figure.
I don't like him.
You do too, boy.
I know.
You like what I say you like.
But I found the figure, which is really weird because I was like walking through Target and it was like the only one I saw. It was like just laying on the shelf. I was like, okay. And I sat it right on the shelf in front of the TV, and neither one of them saw it for like an hour and a half.
I saw it.
I know, you were with me. Gosh.
Did it smile at them? Because I saw the video of smiling toys at your house.
Yes.
No, that was just the Justice League. That was before he joined.
Okay. Yeah.
Wasn't that funny though?
And I got
For those who don't know, Sarah shared a great video of Justice League toys smiling.
Why would they know?
Yes.
True.
I might have to share it. I might have to put that on Twitter because that was pretty funny. That's one of my husband did. So, that's actually our characters. He's like, look at this. Did you see it? I said, honey, you tagged me in the TikTok. So, yes, I saw it.
Are you guys all, while we're on this, are you guys all excited for a Peacemaker show?
No.
Me either.
I'm not like insanely excited about it, but I'll watch it. I mean, it could be interesting. It's going to be. I like the character enough to.
I'll probably give it a go, but I'm not. It's not one that's really like on my radar.
He just didn't do it for me. I didn't find him all that. I didn't feel like I could have picked somebody else to have a spinoff out of there, and James Gunn be like, "Oh, I gotta explore more Peacemaker. He's the greatest."
Yeah, as long as it's not in his tidy whities again.
Oh, whatever, Sarah. That was for you.
I was going to say
that was for you. Well, that was for you and something.
That was a little too. That was a little too much. That was a little too much.
God, I mean, there was wieners and boobies.
But then he was
and everything else at Suicide Squad. I was like, look at all of this. There's a little something for everybody in this.
Well, back to Stargirl.
Sorry. Well, that's not a good transition.
What y'all think about Shade in this? The bring in Richard Swift, Shade in this one, and Dugan discovering him, like picking him out. Oh wait, you didn't see the whole episode.
I didn't see that part, so go ahead.
Okay, so anyway, so did you see the part where they brought him in?
Interesting because it was kind of like the encounter with because what's his name? This Richard Swift. That's when
he's the Antiques.
Yeah, that's when I can't even think of her. Barbara. That's when he came in her office and met her. Mm-hmm. She was just like, "This is just kind of weird." Mm-hmm. So then, but I kind of glossed over that because I was trying to fold some laundry in the middle of trying to watch that. But but I did hear, and I think what was it? Pat recognized the watch.
Yep.
Is that what it was?
Mm-hmm. And then you see that again when he's looking through the
right. And so because all throughout like the first episode, Courtney, she's like going through all these files. She's trying to find villains, because she's like, oh, and then of course Pat gives her this whole speech about, being a superhero is not about, fighting the bad guys. It's about helping people. So, she got in her head finally, okay, well, I'll be Courtney first and then, be the superhero and that kind of thing. And it was just really interesting that it kind of shook Pat that much to where he went and he was looking through the files and he's just like, you know what? Maybe we do have a bad guy here. That's what it looks like. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little flip.
Yeah, it was. And the timing was very perfect for it, especially. And, even Pat said that he's like, oh, it's funny you mentioned that. So we definitely introduced the who's going to be one of the bad guys. And they introduced as the last member of the ISA. The actor who played the role, I don't have any, attachments to the character. So for me now, that's going to be Shade. I thought the guy did a great job. It's going to be interesting to see his villainous role and what part he plays in the story. But yeah, Stargirl, man, it's going to be fun. I'm kind of upset that we didn't get to see anything else with Joel McHale in this one. Like they're just kind of like dipping their toes in that.
Yeah, they're kind of build that up a little bit. That might just be something that's kind of a little interwoven in it.
But why? I've been calling for that guy to be a superhero forever, man. That was my choice for Green Lantern on screen. That guy would play a great Green Lantern.
Well, he was Starman, wasn't he?
For an episode, yeah.
So
for a scene in an episode. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, and with this, the thing, I don't know if I always look at the background stuff and all these shows when I'm watching. Did y'all notice that they have a big ass picture of their dog on the wall in their house? Who puts a big ass picture of your dog on your wall? And I don't mean like a picture, like I get putting like a 4x6 picture or a photo of your dog. They have like you see Leia back there. Well, you can't see her, but like a poster. Yeah, a poster of the dog, just the dog, nobody else. Like he posed for a picture, and I was like, well, okay. Yeah, I mean, I love my dogs.
Sometimes they're your favorite member of the family.
True, very true. I'm trying to think anything else about this episode I want to touch on. I'm glad that they didn't continue on the jealousy thing with Courtney and Jenny. That would have really pissed me off, and that's the CW thing to do, is to have that in there. I'm glad they didn't do that.
Greg, and it's the real life thing to do. If you never put two completely strange women alone in a room together, they will hate each other in 43 seconds.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
You sure about that?
Just kidding.
But yeah, I'm ready to keep watching Stargirl. I was a little pissed off at the CW app earlier because I didn't think I was good to watch it. Sarah mentioned it to me because she was trying to watch it, and I was like, "Oh, you just gotta go on the CW app." And I tried to go on it, it wouldn't happen. And I
know that's what I'm saying, and that's the funny thing because I had just finished the first episode, and I'm thinking, and then I turned it back up. I was like, "What the hell is this?"
Episode 2 was so popular and so good, it blew up the app. Is what it was.
Well, Mom was saying that the video had expired. I'm like, what? Hold on a second. Wait a minute now. Where'd you go?
All right. Well, I got nothing else earlier I want to bring up about Stargirl. Ross says same in the chat room. I don't know what he's talking about. Same with maybe the quality of the CW app.
Yeah.
Oh, probably having issues with the app. Okay, so it must have just been a thing for everybody. But all right, well, let's move on. Let's keep trucking. We got 2 more shows to talk about, and then I still have not watched the Eternals trailer because I was saving it for tonight so that way I could have a reaction to it because I haven't done it yet. I like to do that kind of thing. Let's get into real quick, and let's go to the Lower Decks because that was the last show I watched right before I got on. This show, like I stupid laugh at some things in the show. It's a fun watch, and I picked up on certain things in this one. Did you notice how when they were talking about in the episode, we'll dive right into it. You notice how we talk about the episode, they mentioned Data 3 times, collecting data, and then the dude leans in, he's like, "Poor Data, he just wanted to feel," and I was like, "Oh, okay, that was something they just a total joke."
That was the reason why, because this episode, because you remember I told you it's it always at some form or fashion. There's little, allusions to 9 times out of 10, it's going to be Next Generation.
Right.
So this particular character, the very first one, when you met the one that got turned into the puppet, I can't remember his species.
I can't either. But
that was in reference to, and I actually looked it up because I knew the episode, but I wanted to make sure, what it was. It was season 5, episode 2, Darmok. That was when Picard was somehow had got stranded on this planet with another one of those. And what's his name, Darmok? I don't know. I can't remember. But anyway, so that was the allusion to that one, because especially because that alien had, or that particular species had the weird, he talked in metaphors. So that's how and that's what Picard had to figure out. It's how do I communicate with this guy? So he finally realized it was in metaphors. And then the second one was towards the end, when you had, but in this one too, I love the fact they have Riker and the Titan. I was like, oh my gosh. And did you see Riker's mannerisms? Because that's always the running joke, because whenever Riker comes in a room, especially if he comes into the captain's ready room, he always slings his leg over the chair and then sits down. I don't know if you've ever noticed that. He did a lot of that in the very first seasons. But because when you saw towards the end when he was talking to the clone, I don't want to say clone, but the other Boimler, which
it was a clone. They called it a transport clone, I think, wasn't it?
Well, that is in another reference to season 6, episode 24.
Look at you, Miss Travis Hines, pulling out seasons and episodes.
But that's what I'm saying. It's I knew I knew which one it was. So I just wanted to pull up and see where the seasons, because it's in the later seasons. Because I think there's 7 seasons. But because I remember that, because then you had Thomas Riker, because when they found him, because he was basically a replica of Riker because of a transporter issue. So that's the same thing, because that's when Boimler's standing there. He's like, oh, I remember this happened in a Riker, blah, blah, blah. And then, lo and behold,
appreciate this.
It happens to him too. And I'm just like, I get that.
3 volumes of these.
What are these for everybody not watching?
And I found these motherfuckers in a recycle bin.
Wow, those things look brand new.
Oh, dude, there's somebody through. This is there's one that's behind the scenes. There's one that's product. There's a quizzes. There's on individual episodes and shit.
So for everybody not watching, what is this? Tell them.
These are binders of. It says the Star Trek universe. It's got Star Trek, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, and it chronicles through specific episodes and big things in each one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And there's 3 volumes of it. There's like little behind the scenes trivia and stuff, like a Did You Know section and info on the episodes and the species and the characters. They're pretty in depth.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Somebody threw them away.
How much you want for them?
I'm not even a Trek guy, and I just went ahead and picked them up.
Oh, I would have too. Yeah, definitely would have. So we got Boimler back. Boimler,
yeah. Boimler,
so
yeah.
We got him back.
I loved in the first episode because when you're like, I wonder what Boimler's doing, and he was like losing his mind because apparently the Titan is just not the ship for him.
Right.
There is like too much going on for him. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm just glad we got him back because I was hoping they were going to tell the whole season with him in a different place.
Yeah.
That thing. Mariner is always a great character. What's the other character's name who was with the other one in charge in this episode? Not Mariner, the
Jet.
Navy. Yeah, I can't remember.
Are you talking about the other fella? Because you've got Rutherford, which is the cyborg, and then Tandy.
It wasn't Rutherford.
Tandy's the Orion.
Right.
He's the green one. So I think his name was Jet, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that must be what it was. I liked how they both had the exact opposite ways of thinking about things to get through a certain plan, and in the end, neither one of them ended up being the correct about the whole thing. That was pretty good.
Well, Mariner, I love her character. Don't get me wrong, I love her, but I'm like, honey, you need to calm down just a hair. I mean, just dial that testosterone back just a bit, because I mean, she's just all like,
that's how that works.
You know what I mean.
But I do like how at the very end she's like accepting of the new guy, I guess, Jet, and kind of in there sitting around the table, and that's when Boimler shows back up, and she just pushes him to the side and runs over to Boimler.
Yeah, she's like, Boimler, good to see you, but I'm still mad at you, and I will not forget it.
But this show just has those real quick moments that make you kind of chuckle. It's got some moments that make me really I'm like, I can't believe they just did that. Oh, the shower scene in this one.
Yes.
I thought that was hilarious. Actual shower scene in this one. Where everybody apparently everybody is just group nudity is what they called it.
Community shower.
But I was like, wow, okay.
I'll never forget that. That was one of the first things that jumped out at me. Starship Troopers. Like I remember watching that movie as a kid and going in. I'm like, whoa! Like,
I saw that movie just for
everybody showers together. I remember being mind blown. Was it '97? I think I was. What was I like 12? Oh yeah,
I saw that one in theaters.
Yep. I love that movie. Still love that movie.
Just that one though. After that, it was just like.
I've never seen any of the other ones.
Well, I've seen parts of the other ones and just no. But
I don't even want to see that one again because, like I said, the very first time I saw it, it was those bugs.
They did a good job for the time with that movie. I wonder if they remade that movie now, what it would be like. Of course, they probably have, and just a bunch of.
It's based off a novel.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know how far away it strayed from that, but yeah.
Well, all right. Well, you got anything else you want to say about Lower Decks? Anything you wanted to bring up about it? Because it's a fun show to watch. It's every episode's like 24 minutes, and then if you take credits away, you're looking at like
it's 19, super short. I mean, it's something that it's super short. So
it's like watching an episode of Family Guy.
Yeah,
absolutely.
To be really honest with you, so really enjoy it. It's a fun watch. Paramount, if you get a chance to check it out.
And like I said, I think they are streaming some of it on Prime. Maybe like the first season.
Are they?
But I think so.
No, I've had Prime. I'll try to search that out. If I can search it out.
I'll have to go back and look and make absolute sure. Cool. But it seems like I found it, somewhere else.
It only takes a couple clicks. It'd be all right. I can search it out.
Well, if it doesn't work, Nathan, we'll figure out a way for you to get some Paramount access so that way you can watch it if you want to. So
yeah, it is a really cute show. And like I said, some of the, I guess like the traditional Star Trek, they're like, oh, this is not. I'm like, no, it is. It's fun.
Well, I'm not a traditional fan. I like
because it's the Lower Deckers. Universe. That's what they call themselves, the Lower Deckers.
Kelvin timeline. Yeah.
All right. Well, like I said, watch it. It's a fun show.
Are you guys getting ready to jump into What If?
We are.
Well, since I still haven't seen it, I think I'm going to go ahead and jump off here so I can go help her get the baby ready for bed.
Okay.
And I will listen and catch up with you guys later.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. I'm sure
all right, guys. Have a good show.
Bye.
All right. Later.
All right. So let's jump into What If. Let me change the background. I forgot. I keep forgetting to change the backgrounds on these things when I do it. So still getting the hang of this thing. What If? Here we go. So What If? I don't know about you, but I keep saying these Marvel shows keep getting better for me. Maybe I'm just getting more anxious about, or not anxious, but excited about what Marvel's doing. Maybe this is, what I needed was for these shows to start getting better and better. But I'm really, really enjoying What If so far. And like episode 1 for me was good. I enjoyed it, and I was like, okay, this show can really go somewhere. I really enjoyed episode 2. It was fun. Hearing Chadwick Boseman again, like it was a really, really good time.
It was funny because my
really
son,
excited where it's going.
I wish that was his real voice. I said, son, it is.
That was his last performance, right?
Yes. Yeah. I believe so.
So, but it was just great. Like, I love the twist they had in this one. I like the story. I do like how whenever, sorry, I got something flying around me. That's why I keep swatting at stuff. I do. I love how they start out with the same kind of story. They keep the same basis for a story, but then they go different ways and change different directions. It makes me interested because it's like I know the story or some of what they're doing, but I'm interested to see how they change it. And then they kind of go a completely different direction and give me a new story with these characters they've established in the first few minutes of this old story. And I'm just really, really enjoying it so far.
Yeah, I mean, I just like I said, I just love the what if standpoint because, it was really interesting to see that T'Challa had a different reaction than Peter Quill did when I can never remember that dude's name. But because when you first see him, he's like, I'm Star-Lord. He's like, who? But this time he's like, I'm Star-Lord. Oh yeah. He's like, you.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, that's a total 180.
Yep. Yeah, things like that were really cool. I liked how T'Challa was a different Star-Lord. He made the Ravengers different people. The whole missions were everything was different about.
Now, how floored were you to see Thanos in that? I was like,
I loved it. I was very,
but it was just so
surprised.
weird. I was just like, okay, well, and then another when you finally saw Drax, behind the bar, and he was saying, my wife and daughter. I'm like, so, and of course, my husband, that's the one thing he'll watch with me, but he was just like, oh, his wife and daughter in this. I'm like, see, this is the good side of it. This is when Thanos is not being such a jerk face.
I liked it because it was that's what it was. It was like Thanos when he's off work. It's like, guys, I'm not at work right now. Let's hang out. Let's be cool.
But he was still talking about, you would still see him talking about that, and they're like, you're crazy. Don't do that. No, that's not cool.
He brought it up twice about the genocide, and everybody's like, it's still genocide. And he's like, yeah, but it's effective. type thing.
Yeah, you're like, no, that's not a cool thing.
And I loved how they've given it the story. He's given up the, the domination thing, everything else, and now the Collector is the bad guy. And it was an interesting take on the character. It was an interesting way to go with the story. I like that you get to see Howard the Duck, and he's a character.
And and that's what's so funny because as they're going through the whole thing, I swear Brian sat there and he said, "Well, we're gonna see Howard the Duck now." I said, oh, "Please, no!" Damn it, there he is.
Right, there he was.
It's like, really?
Yeah. It's cool. T'Challa gets to go back to his home. They're just doing some really, really cool stuff with this. What if? I'm interested to see, like I said, if they tie all this stuff together, or if it's just a bunch of one-offs. And honestly,
I kind of want it to be the one-offs. I mean,
honestly, with the way it's going, I don't care if they're tied together at all. I'm really enjoying the one-offs. I like the different stories. It's pretty cool. Like the what if mentality is really, really fun. It's fresh. It's new, Yeah,
because even with Nebula, when I saw her, I was like, is that Nebula? Even before she said anything, I said, this is crazy.
Yeah. CB's last Marvel appearance was him trying to make the better universe. Pretty epic.
Yeah.
And
it didn't matter, but it made for this. What if did make for a better universe because you didn't really have as much, I guess, fighting per se, which it was a really cool story anyway. How they had set up the Collector as being the bad guy, because really, in the other universe, he was just kind of like, didn't really. He was kind of a vanilla character.
He was kind of a wimp. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, Brian asked, he's like, the girl that was helping him out, that was with the Collector, she was the one that had touched the Infinity Stone.
The Power Stone, yep, in the first one. Yep.
And so, but yet she was still the one. She finally got her revenge on him.
Yeah, she did. And so did everybody else, apparently.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. But yeah, that was really cool. The fight between them was really cool. I did like you get to see the Black Order fighting against Thanos.
Yes. Now, Proxima Midnight, she is one of my favorites. So I do.
I agree.
Like her. I do miss her.
Well, I like all of them. I thought they were great characters. They were really fun characters to watch, and it'd be cool to see more of them. But they're all dead now, even though now I don't know.
But how crazy was it to watch them beat Thanos down? That was nuts.
Yeah, and I love how too. Whenever he's I can't remember what somebody says that I'm like, you're crazy or something like that. And he goes, no, I'm mad. And because he's the Mad Titan. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. Just a nice little touch, man. Do we know, are all the characters in this voices? Are they the actors' voices from the movies? I don't think they are. Some of them are, but not all of them.
I don't think all of them, because some of them, they didn't sound the same. Yeah. But I'm sure they probably try to get, as many as they could, to make it as authentic, I would assume.
Oh, yeah. And I'm sure a lot of them are under contract to do so. I mean, how hard is it? Honestly, I don't feel like, and I've never done any of this. I just feel like if you're going to do a voice recording for a 30-minute show, it can't take more than a few hours in a studio to do that. But I don't know how it works, and I'm probably wrong. So, but yeah, What If is really, really interesting. Do you know what next week's episode is? I haven't even looked it up.
I don't
either. I'm just going to kind of.
I think these are the only two that I've really heard a lot about. Honestly, I don't think I've really heard too much about the rest of them.
Yeah, I think you're right too. I don't think I've heard a lot about anything else either, because I knew the first one was Captain Marvel, was Captain Britain. Excuse me. I knew the
Captain Carter.
Yeah, Captain Carter is what I'm trying to say, and I knew the second one was Stargirl with T'Challa, but I don't remember hearing anything about any of the other ones.
I will say one thing about this episode: it was a very nice touch. The very end, though, you got to see Peter Quill.
Oh yeah, that was pretty cool. Like I said, they do a lot of really cool things with this, and if you're knowledgeable about the MCU and the Marvel universe, then it makes it even more fun. But it's really one of those shows you could watch and not have any knowledge of it and still have a good time watching it. The stories are great.
I mean, like I said, it's just a fresh take on it. I mean, the story, you basically know the bare bones of the story, but now you're just kind of just interchanging characters, and like I said, the whole what if, so and so, this, that, and other, and it's really refreshing. It's really refreshing.
Look up what the next episode is, because I'm sure. Oh, see, it's totally something totally different. What if IMDb? Okay, here we go. I'm sure IMDb will probably tell me. Let's see. Episode 3 is the Loki episode. Episode 4, it just says know what this plot is about. Episode 5 is a Thor episode. 6 doesn't tell you. Yeah, it's going to go on to a whole bunch of episodes. It looks like 9 episodes so far.
But the cool thing about it, obviously, if they don't have a second season, they're crazy, because it's almost like it's endless stories.
Oh yeah,
endless stories.
Well, listen to the description for the last episode. Episode 9 is, in an alternate timeline, Vision becomes an all-powerful android known as Infinite Ultron when merged with a rival android Ultron. Now it's up to the newly formed Guardians of the Multiverse to put together and end his reign before it's too late.
Maybe they'll pull it together.
That's what it sounds like.
Kind of like an Avenger-esque type deal.
Yeah, that's what it sounds like, but, who knows? See, Thor's banished to Earth, but was still worthy of his mantle. Okay, there's going to be some really good episodes.
But how about some of the, I guess some of the relics that
the Collector had?
Yes, because he pulled out Hela's.
That was pretty cool.
I'm like, whoa! Hold on a second now. Wait. But even the look of the Collector. He was badass. Because I'm like, why is this guy so big? And then he pulls, off his coat, and it's like. He has almost like a Winter Soldier arm, and I'm like, what is going on with this dude?
I think so far what I've seen in this is him and Nebula have been like the biggest 2 characters that have changed from what they were, we know them as. I guess you could say Thanos too, but he still looked the same at least.
Yeah.
I guess more just an appearance is what I'm thinking.
And that's what I'm saying with Nebula, it was so interesting because, it was like she was trying to hide, it's like she looked more, even though she was blue. She looked like a green, but still. I don't know. It was just crazy. But I really liked seeing like all everything in the Collectors, and plus he was still in nowhere, so that was kind of cool. And I don't know, it was crazy. And what was in that little canister that they were after? That Nebula was after.
I don't know if that was something that was just made up for this episode or if it's something that's real. I don't know if it's something that's canon. It was, I can't remember what they called it. It was some kind of element or some kind of crystal that would create life or help create life, which is why I built the mantle up whenever she made old boy swallow it.
Yeah.
Because they were going to use it to save planets, remember? But I don't know if that was just something that was contrived for this story or if it's,
right, because in the original, because you had the Infinity Stones, so there was like no mention of Infinity Stones at all. Because in this particular one, they're after Power Stone.
That's true. Did we ever find out what was in the orb in this one?
I don't think we did. It was almost treated like it was just a trinket.
Yeah, because remember they were going to use it to trade with the Collector, but then we never saw it again after that.
Yeah, and plus the fact that Yondu was there with him too, because it was just, it was just really cool. It was like just a totally different version of the same story.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, you throw in all the characters in there, like all the Ravengers and everything else. It's just fun stuff. So,
yeah, exactly. But especially with but even the relationship with the Ravengers, it was completely different. Because what did Yondu always tell Peter? It's like, for me, they'd been eat you. He's like, stop telling me they're going to eat you. But then, with T'Challa, it was like, we're family. I mean, they finally got
almost seemed like their leader.
Yeah, exactly. But I did like the fact that he still had some of his Wakandan connection. Especially because he had the necklace, and then when he found the ship. So, I mean, I thought that was kind of cool. So at least they kind of kept that connection. And it was really cool how they, the story of how, Yondu basically abducted him. So since he was like, it was, but it was so funny. He's like, dude, this is not the right one. Look at this. He's like, well, he's got the ear holes, the eye holes. I'm like, okay, you have a fair point there, but
to me, all humans look like this is. Yeah. Yeah, that was pretty good. But T'Challa didn't seem to care at all. That one, man, he was just down, ready to go.
Yeah, absolutely. I just thought it was fun. I mean, it was. I'm really enjoying What If. I think I'm enjoying it more so than I had expected. But I mean, I really didn't have. I mean, you knew it was going to be just like a rearrangement of characters. But it's really cool, like the way they've taken the stories, and it's like I said, you have still same bones of the story, but it's like a totally different layers.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
I'm enjoying it in a different way than I've enjoyed the other Marvel shows. And it's what I think I needed. Like, I like the other Marvel shows. Not as much, I think, as well. I'm liking What If, but I'm enjoying it in a different kind of way. I needed to see some fun Marvel mix-up stuff. Something that for me right now doesn't seem like it's connected to the timeline or not the timeline or the main story. I don't know how they're going to, if they will, but if they do, fine. But I think this is the show that I needed to see with Marvel because it's my kind of animation. The stories are fun.
Is beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I said that last time, man. I think it's just because it pulls me in more so, honestly, because like I said, some aspects of it almost looks, real, like live action. But then in some aspects, you could tell it is animation. But to me, I just feel like it's just so fluid. I think it's gorgeous. I mean, it really keeps my attention.
Yeah, Ross says it perfectly here. It's Saturday morning cartoon, not serious, just fun, yet still connected.
Yes.
Great way to put it. Yep. And that's it. I feel like that's exactly what they're going for. They nailed it.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. Well, I know we got episodes coming out. Now we just learned that we have 9. So it'll be interesting to see the next 7 weeks at least. We'll be talking about What If down to the culmination or and I guess we're going to figure out soon if these shows are connected in any kind of way.
Well, maybe it'll be, maybe just like, the MCU, you have like the different movies and you have the different, stories. And then, like you said, it did culminate into, Infinity War and Endgame. So
sometimes the stories don't necessarily have to do with each other, but the character from that story connects to a different part later. That's a good point. Yeah,
absolutely.
We get that. Okay. And
that would be kind of cool. I mean, that would be a kind of a, cool, idea. Because, I mean, here you already have like the Captain Carter, which is kind of like your Captain America. And now you have T'Challa as Star-Lord. So that's kind of like your Guardians. And then if you're saying it's going to come and eventually, you'll have your Thor. So maybe it'll just kind of breaking down each it's almost like each movie maybe has its own, you're just taking like one scene kind of from each movie, and then maybe like I wonder if they'd have like a Doctor Strange one. That would be kind of cool. Who else could be Doctor Strange? Or, something.
That'd be interesting.
That would be crazy.
Yeah. This is something they said they could go on forever.
Yeah, absolutely.
You can always mix and match stories up. It'll be fun. But I'm sure that based on how popular this series is, it will probably determine that whether it's connected or not. They can always write stories about this. It'll be really fun.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we're going to continue to watch it. Have fun doing it. If you haven't watched it yet and you've been listening, sorry we just spoiled it for you or some of the stuff for you. But we really didn't. You can still watch it and have a good time. I mean, it's still going to be a really, really fun watch, and I highly recommend it. So, let's get into the last thing I have here. Then the only thing I guess we got left to talk about is the Eternals trailer came out. I heard about it a couple days ago, and I did not watch it. It came out
Thursday, didn't it? Was it Wednesday or Thursday? It came out.
Sure.
I remember hearing where it was coming in, and then Brian ran into it. He's like, "Watch this." I was like, "Oh yeah, I knew that was coming out." So he and I watched it together.
I still have not watched it because I wanted to wait and watch it on the show tonight, so that way I could see it. But have not watched it. But Clay, what's up, man?
Hey, Clay.
What haven't you watched yet?
The Eternals trailer.
Yeah. So that is actually, I will admit, it looks pretty good. It does look pretty good.
And it wasn't come out what, November?
Yeah. I
know. I'm like, I want to see this like now. Don't tempt me.
I think it's the first, like within the first 2 weeks of November.
Don't jinx it, because hasn't it had like 4 release dates?
So here's the thing with that though. So with Shang-Chi, they're saying only in theaters. With this, everywhere is in theaters. So they're not going to advertise Premiere Access until closer to the release date.
Okay.
So I am pretty sure, because what they're going to do is they're going to test the waters with Shang-Chi, right? And of course, because of the whole Delta wave, it's probably not going to do great, And then Disney's basically going to say, see, we need Premiere Access. So just like Bob was saying during that investors call, they're using Shang-Chi as a guinea pig to be like, hey, this is how we're going to gauge that these movies need the Premiere Access, kind of throwing Shang-Chi under the water.
I hate that.
It sucks. It really does.
Because I'm way more excited to see Shang-Chi than I was to see Black Widow. Or I still haven't seen Black Widow.
100%. I will admit, like, I've kind of shared the numbers of the cases here in San Antonio, like Texas. Unfortunately, it's Texas. So, like, we already know Texas and Florida are like 2 of the most like growing states when it comes to the variant and to the cases and all of that. I haven't really been great with like risking anything because I wasn't vaccinated before. I'm fully vaccinated. I'm going to be taking a mask with me. I'm actually going to the theater to go see Shang-Chi. That's how excited I am for this movie. So I'm going to go see that. But if you give me Premiere Access, I'm going to, like, the option, I'm going to choose Premiere Access, because
even if you have to pay $30 to do it?
Yes, because I will say, for me, and this is me personally, I either go out to eat before seeing a movie, or I pay for popcorn, drink, and candy while also buying a ticket to go see the movie, and it equals about $30, if not a little bit more, for that. So, like, it's still gonna be even. Like, for one thing, I think, which will help a lot more, $30 for just me at a movie theater with all the popcorn, drinks, candy, whatever. But buying Premiere Access is $30 for me and my wife. So it pays for itself. Especially if we if we decide to eat in, like if we like make our own dinner or whatever, like we're saving so much more money when choosing Premiere Access.
Yeah, I get that. And it's a fair point. I don't know. I guess it's just desire of movie. because like if you'd have told me when HBO Max, when Zack Snyder's Justice League came out, that I'd have had to pay $30 to see it. Fuck yeah, I'd have paid $30 to see it. So I guess it all comes down to that. I don't feel like I may pay to see Shang-Chi, but I feel like it's a movie that maybe my first movie to back in theaters, like in a long time. Like I really want to see this movie, and I might take the chance and go to the theaters and see it. So we'll see what happens.
Well, and that's the thing, right? Because like HBO Max, WB, whoever you want to really call them, did made a contract with the theaters saying after 2021, so going into 2022, they're going to have a 45-day window, just like Disney, just like Paramount Plus, just like all the other streamers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you're no longer going to get the chance to watch these movies on HBO Max like you were with Mortal Kombat, with freaking Suicide Squad.
Hey, Mortal Kombat, your favorite movie? Is that what you're talking about?
No, stop it, Sarah. But like, I think they cut themselves at the knees, because what you could do is, you can give the 45 window, but you could also announce a premiere access for themselves. And I understand you're paying $15 for HBO Max if you don't have an AT&T account in some sort of fashion, whether it be phone, cable, internet, right? $15 is a lot of money. But if it's a movie you really want to watch, are you still going to pay the $30?
Yeah, right. That's kind of what it comes down to. Yeah,
exactly. So I think that more of these companies need to start thinking a little bit more of how the future is going. And yes, COVID only made the evolution of media go faster. It's not like this is the cause of everything.
It was going to happen inevitably.
It was going to happen inevitably. Yeah, for sure.
Well, so let me ask you. So I think I just feel more comfortable maybe if Premiere Access wasn't $30. I'm just hung on the $30 mark is what it is. I don't know why. I just feel like I'd feel better if it was like $19.99.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Because when you look at a movie now, right? You look at a movie now. If I go to the App Store, if I go to not the App Store, iTunes. If I go to iTunes right now, and I choose a movie to rent or watch, I'm renting a movie for $4.99, $3.99, usually around that mark, right? Or I can purchase it anywhere from like $5 is usually the cheapest thing I've seen on iTunes, or as much as $39, $29, right? $29.99. So there's a range of what people are comfortable with paying for in the case of like digital media. But you also have to take into account, okay, what does the average person spend at a theater that would have them be comfortable with sacrificing the theater experience?
And I think that's what it is for me right there. I think that when I go to a movie theater, I make an event out of it. I plan for a movie. I buy tickets in advance and I get excited for it. I plan dinner that night and I go, and I'm the kind of guy who goes out to dinner before I go to the movie. And then I go to the movie, and a lot of times I still buy popcorn or whatever.
But you go to my theater where you can actually get
food and everything there. Yeah. That'd be pretty cool. But the thing is, I'm going out planning to spend money for an experience,
Yes.
Whereas, so if I go spend $30 to go do that at the movie theater, I feel like I'm getting more than just a viewing. Whereas $30 to sit in my bed or sit on my couch and watch it, even though it is really cool to be able to pause it, rewind it, all this stuff, for me, unless it's something that I am just dying to see, doesn't justify it for me. Now, if they brought the price down to like, and I know it sounds weird, it's a small margin from 30 to 20. I feel like if they brought the price down to 20, I'd be more tempted, or maybe 15, I'd be more tempted to view more movies on Premiere Access than I would just the movies that I'm dying to see, which there aren't a ton of movies that are out right now that I'm just dying to see,
True.
Maybe it's just me.
But here's another thing for you. Right now, we're in this thing called a shutdown, COVID, amidst this pandemic, right? So it's not an experience for you. It's like you said, it's a viewing
Right.
But imagine, if you will, a time when we finally are like down to very limited cases. People are actually able to hang out safely, legitimately, in a way that like isn't going to potentially cause a new wave of variants for this virus, right? Now you can make the at-home experience an actual like event, because then just like you paying for a pay-per-view for a fight on either WWE or WWE or freaking UFC, you hey, let's all jump in on this. We can all pay this much money. We all hang out. We make a thing of nachos, whatever, and we hang out and we watch the event. That's basically what Premier Access can eventually get to. But COVID is testing these waters.
Well,
and that's why I think, like, because we are all willing to pay freaking $25 each when it comes to a UFC fight. That's like what was, gosh, for me, I think the last and this just shows how cheap I am. I think the last pay-per-view fight that I paid for was Mayweather versus who was it? De La Hoya? Oscar De La Hoya? That was
long time ago.
Oh shit! Like 2010,
yeah,
I think.
Yeah.
That's probably about the time that maybe the last time I saw any of them, because that's when because I was big on like I said, the UFC, like with Forrest Griffin and
yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, you know what? That's a lie, because I watched the Mayweather McGregor fight.
Yeah,
I did pay for that one.
So okay, but here, the only thing is though, that's different. Like sporting events, live sporting events that are happening in the moment and action like that is different than a movie, I feel, because it's just a different feeling for me. Watching a sporting event live when it's happening is different than a movie that's going to be out forever, even though you can watch that sporting event whenever. It's like trying to watch a football game 2 days after it's happened. It's not as much fun. You're not in the moment. I feel like sports are more in the moment is what makes it more exciting.
But that is you personally. I think there's a lot of people, because even like you heard, because I wasn't one that watched this show, but there was tons of people that were like having viewing parties for like Game of Thrones and like all of the bigger, much talked about TV shows. People would get together and have those types of parties. You can technically now do that same thing for a movie that is just coming out with Premier Access.
Yeah.
I think that's what the industry wants. So that way, like, I mean, yes and no. Like, they want everybody to pay for their own Premier Access to make more money. But that's also a selling point,
In the end, though, aren't those viewing parties going to be a downfall for them? Because they're going to have to drop the price. Look, if I throw a party and Clay, you come to my house, Sarah, you come over, Nathan, Chris, everybody's coming over, we're all hanging out, and we all split the cost of this viewing. Are you then going to go home and pay $30 yourself if you want to watch it again?
For all of us fans, yes.
Okay, but the average person. But would the average person go pay $15 to be able to watch it again? That's a little more plausible for me.
And that's what I was talking about when it comes to renting a movie on Amazon Prime or in iTunes. It's so low that maybe. But I honestly don't see Disney lowering the price anytime soon.
Yeah. Well, Disney's not hurting for money, so
no.
Yeah.
But like even after the this whole pandemic thing, because I mean, I'm not betting on this thing lasting until I die. Hopefully, I don't die within the next few months. But like
Let's not.
And I guess
know it's morbid to think about, but like seriously.
Yeah. And we can also look at it through history. Things tend to go up in price as time passes on, not down. So yeah,
exactly.
You're probably right. But I don't know. But like I said, the $30 thing is what gets me hung up. And like I said, I might pay $30 to go see it, and I really want to see Shang-Chi. It might be the one I go see in theaters, the first my trip back to theaters. But either way, I'm either going to go see it in theaters or I'm going to end up paying $30, even though I'm not enjoying that number. Maybe I'll make it an event myself. I'll go buy a big T-bone steak and like
right now, the way it's looking is Shang-Chi is not going to get premiere access whatsoever. So you will be able to see Shang-Chi eventually 45 days after its release. So I think they've already said it's September 3rd that it's going to be released. So you're going to be able to see it like the first week of October.
I guess I'm going to have to go see it in theater then.
Yeah.
I'll make some time. Ross says
there still are movies, like Shang-Chi, where you do have the experience of the large screen. Some of these movies you just don't have as much. I don't know. It's just because they're made for the big screen. I mean, they're made for, theater. So, I mean, unless you have a huge TV at home, I mean, it's just, you just have that experience. And like you're saying, Greg, that is the experience you're looking for. So, I mean,
like I said, that's why I'm having. And honestly, I may end up paying $30 for a premiere access movie sometime and be like, you know what, that wasn't so bad, and I enjoy it. And that's probably honestly what'll end up happening because I'm still going to enjoy the movie. Ross says he prefers the HBO Max PR stunt, give back to people when times are shitty, but you're talking about the biggest franchise of the moment. They're going to get their top dollar. Very, very true. Yes.
I think they are because, yes, Disney isn't hurting for money, but I can't remember the actual dollar amount on the top of my head, but every day that Disney World and Disneyland is not functioning, they are legitimately losing out on millions of dollars, which is actually pretty fucking insane.
Yeah.
But like everybody's losing money during this time. Like that's not, a point of like, oh, Disney is losing out. And you're like, oh, well, no, actually these people are losing out too. I understand that, but everybody's going to try to recoup somewhere in some way. And talking about HBO Max, like I would assume eventually they won't go with a $30. I think if they're smart, which I mean, it's WB. My whole shtick is that WB isn't really smart with any decisions that they've made within the last 10 years. But if they want to be smart, because then again, next year they're going to be partially owned by Discovery and they're going to be making most of the decisions. If they are smart, only have a $15 payment for those movies because of the $15 subscription fee. That's what you should do. So you're getting the same amount of money, but in a different way. For me personally, Disney, I paid for the 3-year plan to begin with. So I think that ends next year. I think we have one more year of Disney Plus, and then I have to start paying monthly or annually or whatever plans are available. I wish they give us the whole 3-year plan again because I would jump on that like hotcakes. But right now, technically, I'm paying because I paid that whole lump sum like in the beginning of that 3 years, but technically they're only taking, I think, $4.99 every single month out of that lump sum payment that I already gave.
Right.
Like that's the logistics of it or whatever. So like when I pay for a premiere access, which I've only paid for it one time, which was Black Widow, that 1 month they got $34 instead of just the regular $4,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, when you break it down like that, yeah, it's like Ross said earlier in the chat. He said $30 is only $1 a day. Yeah, I mean that's true, but it's just.
Well, I was gonna say also for everybody else, like with the Suicide Squad, right? Suicide Squad right now, you can still watch it for a little bit longer, but after the 30 days is up, you can no longer watch that for like another 45 days or something like that. I'm not entirely
so
sure.
Weird.
Exactly.
So weird.
But Disney Plus, if you pay for the premiere access, you have it from then on. It's never going away.
Yeah, but you're only talking about a 15-day window then, because if you can watch it for free for the first 30 days, well, actually, no, I guess you're talking about a 60-day window then, because you got 15 days after your 30 days. That would be the 45, and then 45 extra. Yeah, so 60 days. Okay, so yeah, it is different. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, you have to wait like until they're like, hey, now you can watch Suicide Squad again on HBO Max. Like that's annoying. Like to be completely honest. Like, why would you do that to your customers that are paying the highest amount to all subscription services right now. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So for Disney to be like, hey, once you pay this, that access to that content is never going away.
Yeah.
So you are kind of, quote unquote, owning it for 30 days or 45 days. So,
yeah, that's a fair point. I don't know, man. Like I said, it's interesting. Shang-Chi comes out what, next Friday? The 3rd
September,
so.
which
a couple
will
of weeks
be
from now. Week after
2
next?
weeks.
Oh, okay.
Exactly 2 weeks from now.
Two
Next week is the 27th. The week after that is the 3rd.
Okay. Well, like I said, it may be one that I end up just springing for it and going into the theaters and checking it out because I do want to see this movie. The more and more I see the previews for it, I'm like, oh, this looks really, really good. So
Brent already saw it, the lucky bastard.
I know. I saw on Twitter him putting something out there about that. Now that's why I looked up. I was like, when did this movie come out? Because
he posted a link in the GUA chat that had like, I think it only had a total of 6 locations in the US that were having pre-screens. For me in Texas, there was one in Dallas. I was like, oh, do I want to take the 4-hour drive?
Ooh.
And so I signed up to be on the waiting list because if I was going to go, like if I was like got an opening, I wouldn't have told Abby and I would just been like, hey, I'm working late at work and then not be there for like
I got in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've signed up for pre-screenings here in North Carolina, and I've only gotten emails about like 2 movies, and one of them I was going to go to. I can't remember which one it was. It only came out last December, but they never do any pre-screenings around here that are worth me going to see. So.
Yeah, I was talking about that the other day when Brent actually was able to go. The last one I saw early, like 2 weeks early, I think is the latest that some people are able to watch it. Or the earliest, should I say, was Shazam, because Shazam made a big campaign about the 2-week early viewing.
You know what? You're right. I did see Shazam. Shazam and Aquaman, I think I both saw early.
So the Shazam one I was able to go to, and the one before that was Iron Man, like the first Iron Man.
Oh,
that
really?
was the last one that I saw before that, which that was an experience. That was really, really fun.
So that was the one that changed the game right there.
Yeah.
Started the whole thing up. Well, that brings us to where we're at now. We're finally got the Eternals coming out. I don't know if I'm excited to see it or not because I haven't watched the trailer. Do y'all want to watch the trailer with me? I know y'all both seen it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Not.
Yes.
So I'm excited. I almost watched it today, and I was like, "Nah, I'll just wait." So let me share the screen here, and then we'll check this out and we'll talk about it for a minute.
Don't forget the volume.
Yes, I'm glad you said that because I almost just did. So
now, this is titled the final trailer, which everybody's kind of weirded out about, but we'll get to that after you watch it.
Okay, here we go. Share that. All right, here we go. Let me turn the mute off.
Right. 5 years ago, Thanos erased half of the population of the universe. But the people of this planet brought everyone back with a snap of a finger.
Okay.
The sudden return of the population provided the necessary energy for the emergence to begin.
Interesting.
How long do we have?
7 days.
We're Eternals. We came here 7,000 years ago to protect humans from the deviants.
Why didn't you guys help fight Thanos? Or any war, all the other terrible things throughout history?
I'm glad they asked that question.
We were instructed to interfere in any human conflicts unless deviants are involved.
By who?
Okay.
Let's find the others.
Okay, so yeah.
I haven't seen some of them for centuries.
Hi.
Hello.
This is what the end of the world looks like. At least we have front row seats. You know what's never saved the planet? Your sarcasm.
We've loved these people since the day we arrived. When you love something, you protect it.
You can't protect any of them.
I bet you've built the perfect safe house. And what's this even made of? Vibranium?
Fall collection. IKEA.
Okay. So, very interesting. I enjoyed that. I had some friends message me the other day that are not really big. There's, GA. They're not big, huge comic book fans, and so they saw this trailer and were insanely excited for it. And I was like, well, okay, then I'm excited to see this trailer. I'm sold. I'm gonna go see it. I do like the questions answered, like even in the trailer about how they didn't help out with Thanos, that the Thanos situation. That's cool. It's going to be interesting to see this this development. I don't know much about the Eternals.
Nobody does. I will tell you this. Whoever says that they are a big Eternals fan is a fucking liar. And the reason why is you can sit down and look at every single Eternals comic out there. It is a like pardon my French, clusterfuck of just like information, and it's like just out of the wazoo. Like literally, like hardly anything makes sense. And there is such an abundance of information when it comes to these characters that like nobody has really gotten a handle on like how to really write them in a way of like, hey, we're gonna show you how these characters can appeal to a general audience or comic book readers. And for the sake of just being out there and weird, people jump on that book to write, and they make weird stuff happen in the book. And it's just like, okay, like you're not really giving me anything as far as information. So how am I supposed to understand these characters? I hope that this movie gives these characters the same kind of treatment that like Guardians of the Galaxy gave to the comics. Like Guardians of the Galaxy was a known like property throughout comic book readers, but like it wasn't very popular. Now the characters that you see in the MCU is basically how they are now portrayed in the comics. It's made them that popular,
right?
And so you can be like, okay, now I understand these characters. I hope that that's what happens to the Eternals, because if you look at the most recent Eternals comics right now, issue number 1, it names all of the Eternals like on the second page. It is literally 3 pages long. They are like a race of people.
Okay.
And they
that's
have
what
like
it sounds like. I mean,
all sorts of like weird names, and it's like almost like I kind of want to compare it. What's something that like I almost want to say they are like, what is something in DC that can kind of like, I want to say almost like the Guardians, like the ones that run Oa and like the Green Lantern Corps, like kind of like that in a way. But even then, it's just like it's the Eternals are basically gods. They are the gods among men of Marvel. And that is why, it ponders the question, where the fuck were you when Thanos killed everybody, So like you see freaking what's his name from Game of Thrones ask that question. And then there's the answer, oh, we were ordered not to. which you're like, okay, who the fuck ordered you? And then you see the Celestial. You see the big dude that I saw somebody said he looks like an overgrown ice tray, which I really laughed at. This is not the first time we have seen the Celestials, though. We saw them in Guardians of the Galaxy when we got like the rundown of the Infinity Stones from the Collector. We saw like a little vision of like the Celestials. It was just like a split second, but we saw them. So this is the second time they're showing up in like a very large scale. Like, hey, we're actually going to be in person with the Celestial in this movie. This is like the next step closer to fucking Galactus and Fantastic Four. Yep. Like it is getting to the point where like I don't want to say Marvel is getting too big, but at the same time it's like you're about to like write some checks that you should be really ready to cash, you know. Otherwise it's gonna fall really, really fast.
Yeah, I think they'll handle it, to be truly honest with you. They've done a good job handling stuff so far. I felt like whenever they were doing the Infinity Saga, they were getting really, really big, and they nailed that. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Like I said, I hadn't seen that trailer. I actually haven't paid much attention to anything about the Eternals because, you know, like they says, I don't know anything really about them, and it makes me feel good for you to say that nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Them,
yeah,
so it makes me feel better. Like, okay, I haven't. Not that haven't been missing out on anything. It's I'm not in the minority for somebody who wasn't a huge Eternals fan. So that's cool to know. New story. That's what I was looking for with Marvel. How big of a role it's going to play into everything, I'm sure is going to be enormous. But we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, I'm excited. I finally got to see that trailer. I might actually go watch it again afterwards because I really enjoyed it. Some things I want to see if I can pick out, and some stuff I want dialogue I want to see if I can dissect there. But yeah, that's it. That's all we had for tonight. You know, covered the 4 shows, covered the trailer. Is there anything else anybody wants to talk about?
Did you guys talk about the now confirmed Black Canary movie?
No, I didn't. We did not.
Yeah, so there was rumors of a Black Canary movie coming out, I think as early as yesterday. It was just very, very recent. And it kind of all just like went downhill as far as rumors. And they're like, oh no, it's confirmed. And like, oh, here's this. Well, Journey Smollett, who played Black Canary in Birds of Prey, just confirmed it just a little over an hour now.
2 hours ago. Yep, I'm looking at it right now. Yep.
Saying that it is in fact true, and the writer for her show Lovecraft Country is actually going to be writing the movie as well, which I am thankful for, because for one, that was critically acclaimed. It like was nominated for several awards, and the writer says, so I'm thinking something like, and she uses a whole bunch of emojis. This is Misha Green. She has a bird, a microphone, music notes, a karate outfit, a tiger, a dragon, women wrestling, and a green heart. So for people who don't know what any of that means, I'm going to dissect this a little bit. I put on my tinfoil hat.
Let's do it.
So we know that Black Canary is a fighter. She showed off her moves in Birds of Prey. So we know that she can handle herself. So I think this is going to be a sole movie on her. Now, that's what the first 4 emojis are, is the canary, it was a red bird, but a canary, the music notes. So she's going to be singing again in this movie. And then the karate outfit. Okay, she's going to fight. Then you have the tiger, the dragon, the wrestling emoji, and the green heart. The tiger, there is a villain named Tigress in DC Comics. So I think that may be the main villain. Then you see a dragon, okay? What does dragons have anything to do with DC Comics? This one I had to dig a little bit deeper on. It's a little bit older because nobody has used them in quite some time. But there is something called the Black Dragon Society. in DC Comics. I know nothing about them. I'm going to be doing a lot of research this weekend because we are going to be talking about this over at DC Alliance. So go check them out. I'm looking forward to bringing in more of this like unknown stuff from like later comics and bringing them into like a modern era. I think that will be really, really fun. And then of course you have the wrestling. I think this is going to be an all out like almost like a Wonder Woman street level movie. So you're going to see a lot of badass women fighting. I think that's the main thing that they are going to want to do in this movie. And then of course we see a Green Heart. I really hope Green Arrow doesn't show up for the majority of this film, because I think the appearance of a Green Arrow will maybe overshadow Black Canary. So if we get a mention of him or maybe a post-credit scene or something that only has him in a limited capacity, I think that would be just well enough.
Interesting. I like all that, and you're probably pretty accurate on most of that stuff. I don't know anything about the Black Dragon Society either. I'm looking up right now. The Green Arrow thing at the end is what intrigues me. So you think that introducing Green Arrow like for just a few scenes in the movie, or having him as a character at all in the movie, would overshadow Black Canary? I think if you bring a Stephen Amell in to do it will. But I think if you bring an unknown Green Arrow in, it's not going to as much with the general audience. Maybe it will for diehard fans.
Unfortunately, I think Stephen Amell, we were just talking about this in the GOA chat as far as like people who are really good at marketing. Stephen Amell is one of those, like, I'm not saying he is a Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like he is a Ryan Reynolds of like TV.
Yeah.
He was like when Facebook was like just introducing their Facebook Live. I think him and Vin Diesel were the majority of actors who were bringing up the Facebook Live numbers within like the tens of thousands, if not the hundreds of thousands, right?
Well, Stephen Amell is very personable. He's a very personal guy. I mean,
yeah,
he's very interactive with.
He is very interactive with his audience, with like everything that he's doing. Like he's always giving updates on like his personal life and everything, which is great for an individual who wants to be well known and to get better parts. And, you know, that's just how Hollywood works. I think that because of that, his popularity with the DC shows has made the Green Arrow character or name something that is now known. And I think it will. I think that with a great creative team, they can write it in a way that'll be like, okay, he's in a limited like aspect of the movie. But I think I don't want him to do anything too badass or put him in a like critical role in the show, or this is going to be an HBO Max movie. So like, I don't want him in that capacity, because too many people are going to be like, now we need a Green Arrow movie. Now we need a Green Arrow movie. Like there's going to be too much attention on him. That's what I'm saying.
Some people have been saying that for a long time though. Now I'm saying it right now. Now we need a Green Arrow movie. Damn it. We do. I get what you're saying though.
Because there was one, there was a Green Arrow movie. They had everything like as far as like a script and everything. The script for the Green Arrow movie actually played out in the last season of the Green Arrow show.
Yes.
When they were in the prison, like that was the entire script of the movie, or like bits and pieces of it. I'm not going to say it was a for sure like exact thing.
Well, the idea was him trapped in prison, has to escape from all his arch nemesis and villains are in the prison, right? Yeah, that was kind of
that's essentially what happened in the show anyway.
Yeah.
But I think that like having him in a post-credit scene, because like we know Green Arrow as like, as far as DC Comics, he is a multimillionaire. Like he is basically a Bruce Wayne, but like not as rich, I guess, but still rich. Like
maybe, yeah. I don't know if it's I think the difference in the two is not necessarily wealth. I think both of them have enough money where money's not an issue no matter what they do. Even though
that's what I mean.
Like
in comics, they have always made Green Arrow or Oliver Queen the one thing that we never really see of Bruce Wayne. Like whenever you read Batman comics, you never see Bruce Wayne, but when you read Green Arrow comics, you always see Oliver Queen. You know, you always see the playboy, just like rich boy type of scenario going on in his books. So I think he has that kind of limelight. So I think you could see him like in the background on TV, like being interviewed, in this movie to be like, hey, Oliver Queen exists in this universe and we will eventually get to him. Like, I think that would be more than enough also. Like, just because for me personally, if you give us a tease, I think that is more, because then we can speculate. We can be like, oh shit, like how are they gonna meet? Like what's gonna happen and do all this stuff, right?
And it gets the excitement up, yeah.
Instead of getting something and then being disappointed in him not being able to do as much.
You mean like the end of Green Arrow, the show, with the Diggle tease, with the Green Lantern? Right?
Exactly.
Yes, and that's what I'm worried about. Like I either want him in there fully or not at all. Like I don't want a little tease that is not going to amount to anything. That's going to piss me off even more. If they give you a tease and then nothing comes of it, it's going to be like, what the fuck, man? I don't know, just me. But I get what you're saying about it. Him outshining. Or not, I don't want to say outshining because I'm not like saying like he's it's a guy, so it's a better character than that. I just mean like taking the light away from the movie, away from Canary. It's Canary's movie making her movie. I get what you're saying about that, which I'm fine with. I'm fine with that. I think
more so Journey Smollett, like within recent years, has pretty much made like a big name for herself. I think she is a big enough star to be able to either run her own show like she was doing with Lovecraft Country, or run her own movie like she's going to do with Black Canary. But Sarah, what do you think?
I think it'll be interesting because, like I said, I didn't really read the comics or anything. So honestly, the only Green Arrow I know of, and the Canary I know of, first of all, I was introduced in Smallville with that particular, but that was more Oliver Queen more so than Green Arrow. But when I started actually watching the CW Green Arrow, that's when, with the Canary or Black Canary, oh shoot, I can't even think of her name or, the character name, but that
Laurel.
Yes, Laurel.
Yeah.
So you had Laurel
Lance,
first. Yeah. So you had, the Canary, and then, of course, when she came back, it's Black Canary. And so now, when seeing Birds of Prey and seeing Journey Smollett's character, if she does have the movie, I'm curious, is she going to have the suit?
See, and for me personally, the suit that she wore in Birds of Prey, I didn't like. Like the one at the very end.
Yeah.
And I know, I think I don't know if I was a part of your guys's review for it, but like they were giving off an 80s vibe. Like that's what Kathy Yan wanted. They wanted like a very 80s look to everything, which is why she had like the blue, like kind of shoulder pad V-neck and the high-waisted pants. Like the look for the aesthetic is not the problem. For me, it was like, and I think maybe it is the aesthetic, is like whenever I see superheroes, I want them to look like superheroes.
Yeah, I know. You don't look like you're going out for a night in town. I mean,
exactly. This just basically looked like a buddy cop movie, like at the very end, like not to be too harsh on it, but it honestly just like looked like how in Rush Hour, how Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker just got like really nice suits and fought people.
Yeah.
Like, that's what it almost seemed like. And I was just like, okay, but where's your costume? Like, that's what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's really hard because like nowadays with Black Canary, her costume can be very like controversial with her. Now the CW made it very much like 3 different things. She had like several different costumes in that show. Comic wise, she has the long fishnets that go all the way up to her freaking waist. She has the corset along with the black leather jacket. Like that is the original iconic suit for Black
Comic book accuracy, baby. Let's go. I'm down.
Well, no different than Silk Spectre in Watchmen.
Exactly. No. In that same vein, like honestly, that's basically what it is.
Love that outfit, by the way. Yeah.
I'm sure.
I don't necessarily need that, but I would like something that looks more like a costume. Because like even in I think it was Injustice 2, they put her into the game. And in that game you can like change the entire outfit. You can actually give her a domino mask, so that way you're not always seeing what she looks like. She can have a secret identity if she wanted to. It doesn't necessarily have to be a biker jacket. It could be, it could be a legit costume. It could be long sleeves, whatever. Like something in the vein of like a Nightwing in Titans, like a full body suit, something like that. Like overall, it's gonna be a DC movie, so I'm going to watch it no matter what. I just hope that they don't just write this off as like, it's on HBO Max, so we can do whatever. Like, I want them to take it seriously.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't do anything DC property.
I want something more along the lines, I guess, of like Donna Drake as Black Canary, because to me, I felt that was more like a costume.
I liked that outfit, yeah.
Because it wasn't. I mean, Laurel. I guess the one that sticks in my head is like when she's like I forgot which Earth it was, but it was like she was like the Black Canary, and then she had like
the one with like the long jacket and the high
hair,
boots,
that kind of thing. But I think I like Donna's more, because to me that felt more like a character. I mean, it was more like So that's what I'm hoping. That's the only thing that I really didn't like about Birds of Prey, because I don't think she was really a superhero then per se. I mean, she had her ability, but I don't think she really used it. Like I said,
she only used it once, and it was like only in that one spot that was like, oh well, I guess we're all gonna die, so I guess I should use my power so the audience can know that I actually have the canary cry.
So maybe with this upcoming film, maybe they will go a little bit further and have her more of a like Black Canary, instead of it just being anybody.
And this is technically a Birds of Prey spinoff, so I hope, because that movie ended with them being like, okay, we're heroes and we're gonna fight crime.
Yeah.
So she's gonna have a little bit more experience, and I think with that experience comes the tone change of like, hey, I'm a hero now, and in that same light, they can take those liberties to be like, hey, I'm gonna act like a superhero. I'm gonna dress like a superhero. I can,
bring on the costume.
Bring the costume. Yes, exactly.
I'm down. Bring on the costume. It's going to be the hashtag for the show. Bring on the costume.
And I'm sure this will be officially, like, Journey has already confirmed it, but I'm sure it's going to be officially announced during Fandom on October 16th.
That's a long way away for it to be officially announced, for it to be unofficially announced right now.
Yeah, in 2 months.
Wow, that's a long way. Well, we know it's coming out. So.
Yep.
Out there. But yeah, I'm excited for it, man. It's good. That's cool news. Like I said, that just dropped 2 hours ago from when I'm looking at these things. So that's definitely why I haven't seen anything about it yet. I'm excited. As I said, it's DC. I'm gonna watch it. So we'll see what happens when we find out more about it. Do we have a timeline for when it's actually supposed to come out?
No, it hasn't even technically reached production. It's only in pre-production right now.
Okay.
So they are basically getting the creative team together. They don't even have a director yet. In all honesty, because of the kind of controversy that Kathy Yan had with Birds of Prey, because of some choices that she made in the movie, WB made her change some of that during reshoots. So give her a second chance and actually let her make a movie without any interference, like you were able to do with James Gunn.
Well, I wouldn't mind just giving her this whole Birds of Prey section of those characters section of this little DC universe. Give her that little slice, like everything that has to do with this, you kind of have your fingers in, or your direction.
I think that would be cool. Great.
Because then it's her own feel and everything. That's gonna be fun. Well, I'm excited for it. You guys, anything else you want to mention on it? I mean, I don't know much about it except for what you just told me in the article I just read. So
yeah,
we'll find out more soon.
Yeah, like I said, October 16th, we're kind of trying to gauge like everything that might be shown there. I was just looking at the last year's kind of schedule. There was about 17 panels last year. And as far as like the movies that are coming out and some of the shows that are about to be like officially announced or whatever, we're looking at only about 10 panels. So like if they want to fill it up like they did last year, there's still anywhere from 7 to possibly 10 more announcements that we have no clue about.
Okay.
So that's pretty exciting.
Well, I know we're probably going to hear something about Blue Beetle, probably going to hear something about Batgirl.
Yeah, and then Batgirl, Black Adam, we're probably going to see a teaser and or a trailer,
That'd be cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Be excited to finally see something about that. But well, we'll talk about that more when it gets here. I'm sure it's probably something we'll cover and talk all about and have a good time, discussing. So. But it is getting late. We are almost out of content. I'm about ready to get out of here. Clay, man, thanks for hopping on. And where can they find you at and hear more about this DC goodness?
Yeah, so you can always find me at Fanboy Clay on Twitter. If you go to the link tree in my little bio there, you can find all the links to all of the shows, that including a DC Alliance that we are going to be going live this next Monday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be reviewing the 4th episode of Titans as well as the 2nd episode of Stargirl. Going to be talking about this stuff again. You'll probably hear me regurgitate everything that I just said about Black Canary. I will be doing more research about some of the guesses that I have made, what those emojis mean. We'll talk about conspiracies and all that as far as the show goes, or the movie. I keep saying it's a show, but it has been confirmed that it is going to be an HBO Max movie. So we'll talk all of that. You can also find me on Batman News Weekly. Me and my co-host there talked about all 4 episodes of Titans as a whole and seeing how we disliked or liked the show. I guess you'll have to listen to find all about that. And then, of course, I'm on all of the Weird Science podcasts, that including Marvel, DC, and manga. And then, of course, you can find me on the Ranger Alliance over at the GUA as well.
Good deal. Real quick, Clay, just a brief answer. I'm going to start getting into reading manga. Where do I start? Give me a good book to start with.
All right. So
I've already, I mean, I know manga and watching anime are different things, but I've already been watching.
You started watching Attack on Titan.
Yeah, and Demon Slayer. I started watching that too.
And Demon Slayer. So I will say the one really cool thing about manga and anime is they stay basically 99.8% true to the source material.
Okay.
So whatever you see on screen is what you're going to see on the page, which is actually really, really nice. Okay. So I would skip Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer for now because you're kind of already getting that story.
Right.
Just like in a shorter allotted time, Okay. So if you wanted to start on manga, I'm actually looking behind me right now. I would honestly say to stick with a classic because it is absolutely amazing. And they are coming out with some really nice hardcovers. I'm reading volume 2 of it right now. It is Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
It is actually one of my favorite animes of all time. This is the very first time that I'm actually reading the manga for it. And it's really interesting on how Full Metal Alchemist came about, because when the anime was coming out, they were actually writing the manga at the same time. At one point, there was no content for the anime to really go about. So they were actually made their own story.
Oh, okay.
So there's 2 animes. There's Full Metal Alchemist and then Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. So Full Metal Alchemist has like so many extra episodes because they were making their own content, which eventually became like what people call filler. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is the key story points and is more true to the anime. I mean, to the manga.
Okay. Yeah, I think Nathan recommended that one to me too.
Yes, Full Metal Alchemist is absolutely amazing. That is more of like a adventure story, action adventure kind of. But then I would also go ahead and recommend something like a Yu Yu Hakusho or Naruto. Those are classics as well.
Okay.
And those are just really, really fun. The story progression for Naruto is absolutely amazing. They have, instead of just like buying one volume all the way through, that manga is old enough where they have 3-in-1s, where they have 3 volumes in one book.
Okay.
And that will make your collection a little bit smaller to the point where it won't take so much space up in like a bookshelf or anything.
Okay. Yeah, so the only reason I ask is I took my daughters to Barnes and Nobles last weekend, and they both wanted to get some new books, and they both got some manga, and you know, I was just looking at all the stuff there, and there is a shit ton of stuff there, and there were a ton of people there going through the stuff. I was like, wow, I might need to hop on this train.
There's so much. Now, I don't know if you would like it per se, but it is quite possibly the greatest manga of this generation, which I would say is My Hero Academia. I absolutely love it.
That's so funny because that's my daughter's favorite, and I've been involved in a lot of My Hero Academia stuff. So
okay,
yeah,
honestly, the first episode of that show brings me to tears all the fucking time. Every single chance that I watch it.
Okay.
Like the last moment of the first episode is just like heart-wrenching in a good way, and it's so good. It's like a feels good moment, but like there is a lot that happens in that manga. I think it's on like chapter 200 or 300 and something. The volumes though, there's already 28 volumes of it, I believe.
My daughter loves it. Yeah.
It is really, really good. I think I have the first 7, and then I saw the latest one on sale at Target, so I went ahead and grabbed it.
Dude, I bought my daughter a Himiko Toga cosplay for Christmas. You
nice.
know? And then I found this huge All Might statue that she's got in her room now. It's probably about that tall, and she loves it, man. So I was like, okay, I can get down with My Hero Academia. So that might be one I start with, like actually dive into to really, really check everything out with. So
nice.
Cool. All right. I'll definitely check that out, man. Like I said, I know you're a good guy to talk to about manga. I just want a quick answer on that one. So you gave me some good ones to check out. Sarah, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at My Lady Kitten. And for the most part, you can find me here on Friday nights on SES. But also, I've kind of hooked up with Katie for a couple of slice of films. So make sure you check those out because that's going to be really fun. Especially she and I get together. You know, we're chasing squirrels every which way. So
did you do a series of movies or a bunch of different movies?
No, it was just a couple of different movies. Okay. I pulled one up from... It's a film from like 2015, but it's based on something that I watched growing up. Cartoon I watched growing up. Okay. So it's kind of it's not really a mainstream type movie, but so when I asked Katie about it, I said, how about this? She's like, I have no clue what this is. I said, okay, great. That's cool.
Every time I suggest movies, does that, yeah. I'm gonna do Dirty Dancing with her just for fun.
But we actually did one for Free Guy. So that was pretty fun.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, we probably like butchered a lot of the gaming terms and ideas and that kind of stuff. So I mean, because you know, she and I, we're not avid gamers, so so that was a really fun one. But that's pretty much it. I mean, you know, I kind of just wander around. But for the most part, you can catch me. You know, I'll talk about anything and everything. You know, I'll kind of try to school you on Star Trek a little bit.
There you go.
You know, since all you fellas have, you know, the Marvel and DC and everything else squared away.
Gotta have your niche, that's right.
Yeah, it's like I gotta have a little bit of something.
Cool deal. Y'all check that out, man. And you know, you're here every Friday. It's always fun. So and you can find me at the Bat Daddy 52 on Twitter is my personal handle. You can also check out at SCS Podcast 1 on Twitter if you want to talk to me about something with the show, or just, you know, it's just the show Twitter handle. And then I jump into CIII Panthers podcast and, you know, a bunch of different other things here and there, just whenever somebody asks me to do stuff. So hit me up, check out the show. I appreciate everybody who checks us out live. I appreciate everybody who downloads the show and gives us a like, gives us a listen. We'll be here every week, and I hope you are too. So I guess until next week, keep pounding.
Bye, guys.
See you.
Later, y'all.